quarterback all time. 88 yards against Pitt last year, 66 yards against Boston College. Florida State won the toss. They defer, so BC will receive the opening kickoff in the sunshine here in beautiful Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. And we are set to go on a gorgeous day. The high today, probably about 46 degrees. Travis Levy will take it right at the 1-yard line. And across the 20, got a block there. And finally knocked down, so Boston College on the attack. Jurkovec, this has been a great story. He was a tremendous high school athlete growing up in Pennsylvania. Obviously a great quarterback. He was also, after Notre Dame, coming here to Boston College, a great story here too. Because last year, 10 career starts, BC record almost 2,600 yards in the air. And this year, he is 4-0 as a starter, Tim.
Yeah, and you know, you talk about his record here at Boston College, the impact he's had on the program. That's why they missed him so much when he was out of the lineup with the wrist injury.
Jurkovec gets away from one tackler and fires and complete. Got that one free to Jaden Williams. And picks up a quick first down. The stop by Cooper, but a 19-yard gain immediately.
And that's a big-time play by Phil Jurkovec. That's not the design of the play. Had a little bit of pressure, directed some traffic, was able to find the big pickup.
Return to start the Virginia Tech game on November 5th. After missing basically half the season, Garwo is going to be taken down by Keir Thomas, a 60-year man for FSU. The Noles 4-6 coming in, fresh off that huge win over rival Miami and Tallahassee. FSU winning it 31-28 when Miami illegally spiked the ball with less than 3 seconds to play, ending that game. Pat Garwo in the backfield has a chance to go over 1,000 yards today. Jurkovec on the back pedal and incomplete. Off the fingertips of Garwo. Had an opportunity to make a catch there, but incomplete.
Yeah, Garwo, not necessarily the back. They like to use that of the backfield. And you know, Mike Norvell, just to kind of talk about, you know, the situation that Florida State is in. I think this team has been improving under his leadership, and you see it seeing growth on both sides of the ball from September to now, in my estimation. 3rd down 10.
They expect magic when the ball leaves Jurkovec's hand. He's going to rifle this one, and that's going to be incomplete. And an opportunity for an interception. Marion Cooper had a chance to make a play there, but incomplete. And BC to punt.
Yeah, fortunate it was incomplete because it ends up being a poorly thrown ball, and you know, was nearly intercepted. What's interesting with Jurkovec, with him being back and all of the confidence that they have in him, and they feel like the big play potential, there's been some talk about his hand strength not being back to where, you know, it should be, or at 100%. And I think there are a few times, Dave, where the ball comes out of his hand a little funny like it did there.
Short punt. And it keeps on rolling to the 20-yard line. And that's where BC will down it. 35-yard kick. And that means that the Seminoles get their first crack at it offensively. Jordan Travis, solid game against Miami. We mentioned 274 passing yards. Didn't throw a touchdown, but that was a career high. He rushed for 62 and ran for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you know, and he rushed it 22 times. He is an outstanding runner. And it's hard to be an accurate passer when you're running the football a lot, but seeing growth in him as a passer and as a runner, he's really the first thing you need to deal with as a defense when you see the Seminoles.
Good group of running backs as well. The quarterback will flip this one on the move and hit the tight end McDonald for a first down and a 12-yard pickup. Cameron McDonald has a couple of touchdown passes this season. He has 19 catches, number 2 on the team.
And that first play, that drive opener, is a great example. That's almost a halfback pass. He's so dangerous as a runner. The way that looked like run before the tight end ends up leaking out.
Jashaun Corbin the back, along with Travis, so dangerous running the football. He has 6 rushing touchdowns this season as well. And on 1st and 10, he's going to hit Douglas. Douglas on the move, and will pick up another first down. He was huge against Miami. Caught 4 passes for 90 yards. One of those went for 60 in the victory against Miami, and that picks up 22.
And you can see what Florida State's trying to do. There's a shift and a motion, and then it's Douglas scraping across the formation, and he gets lost in coverage as Isaiah Graham Mobley isn't able to stay with him.
And flags down on 1st and 10. Just getting underway here at Boston College on a Hall of Fame induction weekend.
Delay of game. Defense, disconcerting signals. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
An unusual call, and Jeff Hafley not happy with it, but obviously disconcerting signals would be the defense trying to simulate the snap count, which obviously you can't do, and that one goes against BC.
So cut it in half, 1st and 5. Corbin in motion. And the quarterback again will handle the football on the move. Travis, and stopped by Cam Horsley after a 3-yard gain. Eagles coming in at 6-4, 2-4 in the ACC. They are bowl eligible in a dramatically up and down season for Boston College. They started the year 4-0. Had a shot to beat Clemson here in early October, missed that opportunity. Then they lost 4 straight. And obviously the return of their quarterback has made a giant difference. Corbin trying to bounce outside, strung out past the 30-yard line and out of bounds, and he'll give him 8 on the carry. Rashawn Ward with the carry, and they will move the sticks.
Now, I'm impressed with Florida State right now. You're doing a lot. They are a game plan specific offense and try to give you different looks. It's been shifts and motions, and right now BC not really able to come up with an answer. Empty
backfield here. Travis, and complete on the near sideline. Wilson with the catch. Ontaria Wilson, they call him Pokey. And Elijah Jones to stop him. Jones playing very, very well for BC. Gain of 4.
Yeah, the corners for BC have played well this year. Brandon Sebastian and Elijah Jones. But I also think for Florida State, they do feel like the speed at their wide receiver, position and group gives them an advantage in this matchup.
2nd down and 6. Travis with the handoff for Williams. Tried to cut outside, and eventually DePalma with the tackle. Vinny DePalma, the junior out of New Jersey. They call him the coach on the field for the defense for the Eagles. He's the most vocal guy out there.
Even referred to him as the maestro in terms of getting things set up. And he's had to play valuable snaps with Isaiah Graham Mobley out. And the big 3rd and 6 here, I'd expect an RPO for Florida State.
Travis taking a snap, looking, and over the middle, and finds a receiver. There is a flag down. Jordan Wilson with the catch, but a flag dropped right at the 10-yard line. And looking like
pass interference.
FSU.
Offense, number 4. 15-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Yeah, Jordan Wilson is wide open, and it looked like he was running a bit of an option route. And so here's Wilson. He ends up just running an option route. He ends up getting called for the push-off. And I got to be honest, I didn't see it, and I don't think it's there. I think what the official ends up seeing is that Cam Arnold kind of stumbles, but
yeah, that's a bad call.
That's a really bad call because Jordan Wilson is running an option route, and Cam Wilson's just kind of running past him and stumbles. Not sure that was seen correctly by the official.
So it brings a 3rd down and 21 for Travis. Trying to air it out for that sideline, but incomplete. Flags dropped here as well around the 20-yard line.
Well, Cam Arnold's going to give it back with this pass interference. And
pass interference. Defense, number 27. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Yep, right back the other way.
Yeah, just never turns around. He's running with Corbin, and the reality is a lot of times you get linebackers playing outside the numbers in space, in coverage, they kind of panic. And that's really what Cam Arnold did. He's in good shape in terms of how he's relating to the back, but just decides to grab him and obviously saves the drive for Florida State.
Another empty look. Going to fire that one to Toafili. Turn across the 30-yard line before they spin him out. And a stop by Brandon Barlow, a fifth-year man out of New York. Going to lose 2 yards. Second down 13. Travis of North Carolina accounted for all 5 touchdowns in that win. Became the only player in FSU history with 3 passes and 2 rushing touchdowns in a single game. Dropping back to throw and incomplete. Short over the middle. It was tipped to bring up third down.
Yeah, you're right. He does have the shallow cross coming open, and it's a good read by Jordan Travis, and hard to see who it was, but hand gets up there and gets knocked out. And so now you're kind of in one of these known passing situations, and this is where I think you can really see growth in Jordan Travis's game. Known passing situation, routes have got to be down the field. If he can stay in rhythm, he's generally pretty accurate. 9th
play of the drive for the Seminoles. Travis again, pressure on, and he's going to go down at the 40-yard line. Sacked on the play by Elijah Jones. We just talked about how effective he has been, and that's going to be a 12-yard loss.
Yeah, here we go. Pressure is coming off of this side, and Travis wants to escape out of it, but they do a good job, BC does, of keeping contained. It's a secondary pressure. You see him come off the edge. Travis just not able to hold it, and now obviously with the sack, takes him well out of field goal range.
So BC with a huge defensive play early. Jalen Gill will watch this one float. And it's going to be down at the 1-yard line. On a coverage by Florida State. Standing coverage there by T.J. Davis. 38-yard kick.
Fuel your growth
before Thanksgiving, but I think here in New England it certainly is with the temperatures in the 40s. I mean, Santa's here.
Look at Santa. This BC hat.
Ja'Kai Davis, by the way, downing that ball at the 1-yard line. So this will be a 99-yard effort by Jurkovec, and already activity on that front line by the Seminoles, so that will certainly help the Eagles' cause.
Offside, defense number 91 with contact, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And the reason that's such a bad penalty by Robert Cooper is everybody knows that the risk reward as an offense when you're backed up of going on to a hard count, something is always there. It's coached. You know about it. Obviously, the breathing room that gives an offense is significant. It's a nice job of using the snap count by Jurkovec.
1st and 5. Moving the football out to the 6-yard line. And we'll keep it on the ground here. And a stop by Amari Gaynor on Garwold. That'll gain 3. Seminoles lost their first 4 games of the season. They barely snuck past Syracuse, or it would have been 0-5. They started out with an overtime loss to Notre Dame and then fell to Jacksonville State, Wake, and Louisville. Also losing to Clemson and NC State. They are 9-1 in their last 10 meetings against Boston College.
I've been impressed with the resolve after the slow start.
And stacked up tight defense on the line there by the Seminoles. Fabian Lovett, part of that strong front 4 for the Noles. It
is a strong front 4, and Lovett just does a great job of shedding the blocker, and that's Trapillo who's filled in for Christian Mahogany. It's the strength of their football team, no doubt about it. They're 4 defensive linemen, and they're active, and they've gotten everybody in the conference's attention so far this season.
3rd down 2. And it's Garwo, actually Levy this time with the carry. Travis Levy with Keir Thomas on the tackle.
Well, and there you go. And that's the second time we've mentioned Keir Thomas. And Jermaine Johnson gets a lot of attention, but Keir Thomas has had a tremendous season as well. And that's a big play on 3rd and 2 when it looked like there was maybe room. to pick up the first down.
Only got one. So Boston College backed up and will punt. And Wilson back around midfield for the Seminoles. Trying to get great field position here early. Wilson back to the 40. Looking for some room and takes a pretty good shot there. Shy of the 50-yard line. 47-yard kick. A 7-yard return. There is a flag down. 6:40 to go here in the first, and no score. Florida State and Boston College. And they will get together and talk about the flag. You mentioned an awfully sharp hit right around midfield.
There's no foul on the previous play. TV timeout.
That means us. We'll take that break. 0-0 game in the first.
ESPN, home of the college football postseason. Welcome home.
Eat fresh, refresh at Subway.
Well, these folks don't have to go to school to learn how to stay warm. They're very, very good at it. You're going to need some help today. All bundled up, starting to feel a little bit like winter finally here in New England.
It is. I think that Florida State probably caught a break with the sun and that it isn't a little bit colder, but definitely a great day for football.
And wonderful to have a noon kickoff. We haven't had many of those, our particular show here on the ACC network, and a huge day in the conference. And Travis is back to throw, and incomplete off the hands of Ward. And could not make the catch. Boston College, Tim, banged up defensively with some key people out.
Yeah, and with the injuries on defense, they're just not as fast. You know, speed on the defensive side has been a bit of an issue. It's why getting Isaiah Grant-Mobley back in the lineup has helped. Brandon Sebastian, same thing. But losses, you know, for out today, Josh DeBerry and Salah, you know, that ends up being a pretty significant deal for BC in terms of the speed discrepancy with the replacements.
And for Corbin, trying to dance back to the center of the line, got across the 50-yard line, and we'll pick up 3 yards as we toss it down to Kelsey Riggs.
Well, guys, we got to talk with their defensive coordinator, Tim Lukaboo, about some of those injuries, and he told us, look, it's November. Regardless of what league you're in, you say a prayer, you hope you've drafted or recruited well, because you have some big-time injuries this time of year. It's when guys really have to step up. We'll see if they're able to.
3rd down and 7 for the Noles. Again, an opportunity to become bowl eligible with a couple of victories. Trying to come up to Boston and pick off the Eagles today. Travis crossed the 50-yard line and taken down into the BC bench by Cam Arnold. He'll gain 7 though. And good pressure by Marcus Valdez, but not enough to deny them a first down.
It's a really good job by Jordan Travis. You see the pressure that gets brought inside. Florida State does an excellent job of picking it up. Isaiah Grant-Mobley looks like he slips, and that's all Jordan Travis needs is one defender to fall. He make you pay.
Does not need much. He's going to rifle this one, and a drop. Drop by Parchment, the wide receiver. Opportunity to make a catch there. Did not haul it in off the hands.
Yeah, and that's a miss for Jordan Travis. He has Parchment, balls thrown behind. He also had Pokey Wilson going down the sideline. And I think it's one of the things, I referenced it earlier, is after runs for quarterbacks, it's just harder to be accurate at times. I think that's what got Jordan Travis.
2nd and 10 at the 40. Travis with another handoff. Open space here on the right side by Corbin. Cam Arnold with the stop, but that's an 8-yard gain. Corbin's averaging 6.5 yards per carry, and he can be very dangerous bouncing outside like that.
I think it's a good stable of backs that Florida State has. They rotate a bunch of them in. They're all pretty versatile, and you know, for Boston College, when they have defenders in place to make tackles, especially in the front, they've got to be able to do it, because when they get to the second level, the speed for Florida State will really start to show up.
They're down 2. Wants to put it in the air, now on the move. And got close. Cam Horsley eventually with the stop. There's a flag once again on the play. So a flag down, 4:46 to go here in the first. No score here at Chestnut Hill, and they will gather again to discuss this call.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty from in the run, automatic, first down.
No question about it. Vinny DePalma's got his hand in there on Jordan Travis's face mask, and plays like that are the things that are really that may make Florida State a difficult offense to defend. That's a nice play. Climb in the pocket on a 3rd and 2. Even if you don't get it, you're close. Maybe go for it on 4th down, then obviously draw the penalty. Gives you a big pickup.
FSU's been outstanding in the red zone this season. And on the outside to carry once again. Got down close to the 15-yard line by Ward. We mentioned that for a 4-6 team, Florida State has been excellent in the red zone, converting 25 consecutive trips. They're first in the ACC in red zone percentage at over 71%, and in touchdown percentage.
And 13 is the biggest reason for it. His ability to be a tough physical runner, I just think opens up so much once you get down in the red zone, and gives you another player you have to defend.
2nd and 9. Travis to roll. Gets free of 1. Fires that one and complete. And a catch made by Wilson. Wilson for the corner and in for a touchdown. 16 yards for the strike.
Well, I just said it was 13. It was Jordan Travis when they get into the red zone. And it's plays like that that are exactly why. I mean, it's a move the pocket bootleg play, and he's got immediate pressure, and there just is a calmness about him. That's an excellent job of finding Wilson on the over route for the score.
Brings on Ryan Fitzgerald for the point after. So Florida State on top here in the first quarter with 3:43 to go. And they have taken a 7-0 lead. Pokey Wilson finds the end zone.
Well, he finds the end zone. It's because of the work of his quarterback, Jordan Travis, finding Wilson as Florida State gets out on top.
Lots of good topics, lots of good guests today. It's go time.
It takes
in college, it's the Seminoles striking first on top, 7-0.
Yeah, really impressive drive, in terms of what Jordan Travis was able to do. A couple of first downs running the football, obviously drew the face mask penalty. And a really good play for the touchdown.
So the Noles to kick off. And Levy will take it across the 20-yard line, the 25. And a nice return of 27 yards back to that route.
Well, here's Pokey Wilson. He's running an over route, but watch what happens to Vinny DePalma, the linebacker, as he's trying to get back into coverage. Wilson just ends up colliding with him, gets him on the ground, and actually I think it ended up helping time things up a little bit for Florida State, because Jordan Travis, remember, had to react and move in the pocket. Also need to mention was an outstanding block by the tight end Jordan Wilson on Brandon Sebastian to help Pokey get into the end zone.
Well, an injury here as Joe Lang is the man down for FSU. The return came out to the 32-yard line. And good to see Lang back up on his feet. So Jurkovec coming back out for Boston College. All of the BC coaches say that his return means, and you mentioned it in the open, the word hope. He brings supreme confidence. Jeff Hafley said it was like hitting the reset button on the season, like we were starting the season all over again when he returned 2 games ago, because very few people thought he was coming back from that wrist injury, that busted wrist. Speaking of getting busted, good hit there at the 30-yard line by Derek McClendon. Going to lose a yard.
Nice job of retracing his steps by McClendon to get Jurkovec down. But you're right, David. You know, and Jeff Hafley didn't tell his team that Phil Jurkovec was coming back, even when he thought that he may. Just kind of showed up at practice one time, and the defensive guys were like, wait a second, who is that, you know, under center? And he has given them hope. I think last week against Georgia Tech was a great example of it when they're down 21-7, but yet head into halftime up 28-21, and a lot of it because of their quarterback.
Jurkovec can do this too. Staying up, trying to make a move, but they come up and say hello is Jermaine Johnson, who does that an awful lot, doesn't he? 62 tackles now, the most in the country for a Power 5 lineman.
Yeah, this is a big-time hit by Jermaine Johnson. Jurkovec just kind of fighting for more yards, and Jermaine Johnson, that is a big guy with a lot of speed and a lot of talent pursuing to the football. He's been incredible this season, has had an outstanding year, and one of the reasons why when people talk about Florida State's front four, he's the first name that you think of. Indeed,
he's an All-America candidate, leads the ACC in sacks. Jurkovec, a little bit of pressure there, underthrown. There are flags everywhere. And an interference coming up. Looking for his tight end, Luchetti there, but Cooper guilty on the flag.
Pass interference. Defense, number 37. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Marion Cooper gets it with that third FSU penalty.
Yeah. Mike Norvell doesn't like it, and there's a lot of grabbing going on both directions.
Yes.
I mean, I think, and Mike Norvell's furious. I think he probably has a right. I mean, you know, Luchetti's grabbing, Cooper's grabbing, and it just kind of ends up being, you know, which way the official wants to call it.
Well, they get the first down out of it, 1st and 10. BC on the move. And diving ahead, it's Garwo. He'll pick up 2 yards. We were talking with Frank Signetti, the offensive coordinator for Boston College, who's one of the most delightful coaches to chat with. And he said, I'm not comparing Jurkovec to Aaron Rodgers, who he coached at Green Bay, but he says they're similar in this regard. When you call a play, when he's passing, something magical can happen. 2nd down 8. Here they come again, going to drag him down. He got it free, though. Somehow got a completed pass. Got that one to Luchetti, the tight end. And a little bit slow on the rise. All of that for 2 yards. Serious pressure again by Johnson.
Well, Ben Petrullo having a hard time with Jermaine Johnson, and listen, you can create bad plays happening at, but this is a little bit what you see from Jurkovec. At times it seems reckless, and he hit the ground hard after that collision, and you know, looks to be up and okay now. But that's why you see these comparisons, or hear the comparisons to Ben Roethlisberger, because he's hard to get down and finds a way to get the ball out of his hands to avoid negative plays.
Somehow complete. Open space to run. He'll slide down. Then he got stuck. And that's going to bring a flag. No question about that. Jamie Robinson is having a really nice year for FSU, but draws the flag, and a penalty coming up.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness with targeting. Number 10. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down. Previous play is under further review.
With targeting, Jamie Robinson, the sophomore out of Georgia. 65 tackles coming into this game. 2 first downs by penalty on this drive for Boston College.
And here's what's going to happen. Because Jurkovec is sliding feet first, he's giving himself up, which means he's a defenseless player. And so when he's a defenseless player and gets hit helmet to helmet, and then his head slams against the ground, I think this will be upheld as targeting. And these things, and I've said this a number of times, I think it's so hard for defenders. Robinson's a great player, and Jurkovec's hard to bring down. We've talked about it. He's a big physical runner that doesn't go down easily. And as defenders, you don't know that he's going to slide. And so you're getting ready to tackle him, and there goes the slide. I think it ends up being a call that gets upheld.
Michael Webster, the replay official today, taking a long look. And if FSU loses number 10, Robinson, it's a big loss in his secondary.
I mean, it's a huge loss. Coming into this game, Robinson had 65 tackles. I mean, he's kind of been all over the place, and that's a big penalty. I mean, it's a really big penalty. And, you know, Jurkovec, too, just on the other side of this, 2 plays in a row where he gets blasted.
Yes.
And you go back a couple more plays to find the big shot that he took as he was running out to his left. So
Phil's like, explain to me why I wanted to come back again here at the tail end of the season. Well, of course, it's been a huge story for BC, and he just doesn't lose.
He's like, hey, my wrist is fine, but now everything else hurts.
Everything else is going to be aching come Sunday. Florida State on top 7-0 as the ruling on the field is a personal foul and targeting. Here it is.
After further review, the ruling on the field of targeting number 10 defense is confirmed. Number 10 is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
Defenseless player, the key, as you said right at the top.
Well, and that's the thing. When you slide feet first, you're giving yourself up, which means you are defenseless. And, you know, Jamie Robinson did not have a whole lot of time to decipher whether or not Jurkovec was going to try to run him over, get around him, or slide feet first. And just the challenge of playing in the secondary with the way the rules are today. I think Mike Norvell knew right away when he saw it on the video board that it was going to go that direction. He's able to talk to Jamie Robinson after that news.
So with the penalty, 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line of the Seminoles. And a little toss here for Garwo to the center. And we'll pick up 3 yards. Had 175 yards, 2 touchdowns in their big victory against Missouri early in the season. So the seconds moving down here in the first quarter. 2nd down and 7. And they're going to let it run out. So that is the end of the first quarter. Boston College on the move right now, but the Seminoles have the lead 7-0 on a picture-perfect day here in New England. On to the second quarter at BC. Now BC with only 38 yards of total offense, but 50 yards on penalties. 4 Florida State penalties have helped their cause as we get the second quarter underway. 7-0 Seminoles. Jurkovec back at quarterback, takes the snap. He'll step up and wrapped up, down he goes. Fabian Lovett to tear him down. They're going to wind up losing 6 yards.
Yeah, Lovett gets the sack, but right here, they can't block him. I mean, this is an issue right now for Boston College offensively. Ben Petrula just can't block Jermaine Johnson. You know, we're just run one play in the second quarter, and you see the impact that Johnson has had. And basically, game planning had to start with pass protection, is what Frank Cignetti told us, and it's been a problem.
3rd and 13, Jurkovec airborne and incomplete. I'm not sure that a guy can have a better game than Jermaine Johnson had against Miami, but he might be having a better one today. Semi-finalist for both the Lombardi and the Benark Awards, and against Miami, 3 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and he forced a fumble.
Yeah, I mean, he was all over the place, covering ground, and listen, he just is an absolute game wrecker. And just defensively, when you have that impact player, that edge player that is an impact player, it can just change the complexion of your entire defense.
It's a 46-yarder, Connor Lighton, and that one is good. So Boston College gets on the board, and the freshman kicker, his head coach is very, very high on him. True freshman, he is now 10 out of 11. He's been excellent.
Good kick. Just to finish up on Jermaine Johnson and the situation, I think if you're Boston College, you've got to make an adjustment now. You know, a lot of times you come into a football game thinking, okay, we know that this guy's a good player, but we think our guys are good too, and we can probably hang in there. And then you get into a game and you realize, all right, now we have an issue. We need to give him better attention. And so whether it's chips, whether it's putting a tight end there, or whether it's moving the pocket away from him, I think BC's going to have some type of response. Otherwise, Jermaine Johnson's going to continue to disrupt them.
I think it's been said before on the other side of the field, opposite number 11, we've got an issue.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
We've got a problem here, and we better figure it out today because he is all over the place. Corbin will let that one bounce, and now has to slide down and make the play and stop it at the 15-yard line. And now FSU, as we look at our marathon drive recap.
Yeah, and it was really all about Jordan Travis using his legs. With the third down run, great job escaping. Then on a 3rd and 2 runs, picks up a face mask. And then it was his ability to be elusive in the pocket to give him time to find Pokey Wilson for the score. And that's why, you know, all this hype and excitement and hope surrounding Phil Jurkovec. But the Seminoles feel the exact same way about 13.
They certainly do. He was the first Florida State quarterback to account for all 5 touchdowns in a game when he did it against North Carolina since Jameis Winston in 2013. A world of talent for the Seminole quarterback. Trying to pick up a first down. And diving outside, Corbin will pick up 7.
Florida State does such a great job with that play. A little bit of a pitch to get their backs on the perimeter. And as soon as they stretch you horizontally, they'll fake that pitch, and then Travis will just knife through the middle of your defense.
2nd down 3. And a sophomore out of West Palm Beach. Back to throw it. And throws it short and will pick up that first down on a quick strike to Corbin. Running backs for Florida State, dangerous after the reception, and they throw to them a lot.
Yeah, we referenced how versatile they are. Just a little angle route by Corbin. Good accurate throw to allow for run after the catch. And
flag down and incomplete. Attempting to hit his tight end McDonald, but a flag.
Offside. Defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So another penalty here, 13-11 to go in the 2nd quarter at Boston College. And brings up a 1st down and 5 here for FSU. Jashaun Ward now the running back, the freshman. As Tim mentioned, it's a loaded running back room for the Noles. There's a lot of talent there. Corbin busting a hole this time, gets outside and picks up a big first down. That was Ward, actually. Jashaun Ward with the carry, goes for 18. And Woodbay with the tackle.
Yeah, and it's a missed tackle by Isaiah Graham-Mobley, who is a really good player for BC. Can run sideline to sideline, but he's missed a lot of time. And Tim Lebeku, the defensive coordinator, basically said to us, look, I never feel good about, you know, guys when they've missed time and they've missed practice. I think it's shown up a little bit so far for Isaiah Graham-Mobley.
1st and 10. On the move, gonna keep it down that sideline and picks up another first down. And a 13-yard scamper for Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis does such a good job just of breaking contain. There's going to be a twist that comes around here, and it's his speed that ends up getting him to the perimeter. That just creates such a big play. To actually have a good defense called, BC does, to try to contain him. To have TJ Ram got to force him inside, but his speed gets him to the perimeter.
Corbin back in, finds a hole, still up to the sideline and banged out. And FSU moving it as Mike Palmer eventually shoves him out with a 12-yard scamper.
Yeah, and right now BC's having a hard time tackling. And Corbin, these other backs are are doing a good job of breaking tackles. And I think it's one of the things that, BC has probably done a good job of this season is getting guys to the ground, but been an issue so far against Corbin.
Fired into the flat and complete, and the shot to Douglas, who will pick up 3 yards. I mentioned what a big day he had against Miami. They used the freshman a lot. 2nd down and goal.
And I think plays like that are one of the things that can really start to make Florida State one of these teams that are hard to defend. Yes, you're running the football in between the tackles. You're hard to tackle. And then, hey, we're going to spit it out for a one-on-one outside the numbers to a guy as talented as Ja'Kai Douglas.
Once again, FSU knocking on the door. Travis looking to his left and complete, looking for the end zone and diving for the pylon. They're in for a touchdown. A 7-yard strike. Toafili there to make the catch and dive ahead. A 7-yard touchdown reception.
Well, once again, Florida State just spitting the ball out. So Toafili's going to basically come back and catch his football. Here comes Wilson, who's going to block on the perimeter and get another block on the perimeter. So essentially it's an extension of their run game. Just spit it out outside the numbers and have your big physical tight ends block secondary players to create an opportunity for an easy score. And once again, it's Florida State productive once they get into the red zone.
That makes it 14-3 Seminoles.
And there's no question Florida State's got BC off balance defensively because of the run-pass balance. That time, Toafili for the score.
On a spooky Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Sheriff, come quick. Rico's about to enter the transfer portal.
Just see the efficiency in the passing game. Think about so many of those 8 completions were balls that were really within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, just spitting the ball out, letting his talented players work on the perimeter.
Roadhouse with a kickoff. And through the end zone. We'll come out to the 25-yard line. 10:42 to go in the second. Jurkovec has been feeling a lot of heat in the first half.
A ton of pressure, and a lot of times when you face a quarterback that's got the ability to hurt you with his legs, you'll have a spy, you'll rush the quarterback differently, and Adam Fuller, the defensive coordinator for Florida State, I think really just felt like coming into this matchup that they would control the quarterback with their front four, and so far they've been successful doing that.
And so far, number 4, the very talented wide receiver for Boston College, Zay Flowers, has been shut off. Jurkovec will rifle this one and got it complete to Gill. Getting across the 30, talking about all that pressure on number 5.
Yeah, and they've hit him. They've gotten after him. So it's, getting after him when he's taken off to run the football, but then also when he's been in the pocket, finding a way to get to him. And obviously that one there, a targeting, but he's taken some shots. And every quarterback, I don't care how tough you are, and Jurkovec's certainly tough, every quarterback eventually feels those hits. They're cumulative throughout the game.
Sinkfield out of the backfield. Robert Cooper will wrap him up. Big question on Jurkovec, of course, is will he leave after this season, Tim? Mel Kiper has him as the 6th rated quarterback in the upcoming draft. Kenny Pickett is number 1. Falling ahead for the first down here.
I think it's an interesting point because I think everyone here at BC thought that he was going to miss the entire season with that wrist injury. He's come back. He's played well. He obviously has good tape. I think he'll end up testing really well when, whenever he gets the opportunity to do that. And so, yeah, it could be an interesting decision for him. It'll be hard either way.
1st and 10. Looking to go airborne. Takes a knock, stays up. He's going to rifle that one. He hung it up there, and the ball comes free. Luchetti, the tight end, and cannot hang on there. Big time pressure again. This time, Keir Thomas. We've called that name a bunch.
We have, and it's pressure once again because he's got Zay Flowers. You see, he was about ready to throw the football. It's because he had Flowers running down the middle of the field. Probably would have had a touchdown. I mean, there's nobody home. He can't get it off. Flowers knows it, and then actually is able to find a completion to Lichetti, but it's Kalen DeLoach who does an excellent job of just being violent through the football once it got to Lichetti.
Jurkovec with a handoff here and some open space to run, and a pretty good hit there to upend Sinkfield. That was Jarkus McClellan and a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, it's really the first big run, and I would expect a quarterback sneak again like they did earlier.
3rd and 1. And again, picking up a first down.
You know, BC likes to do that. You get in some of these 3rd and shorts quickly, they will just hustle and get set before the defense can kind of get it communicated that, hey, here comes the quarterback sneak. And then Jurkovec will do a good job of not just taking that quarterback sneak in the A gap. If he's got to go all the way out by the tackle, because that's where the soft spot is, he's comfortable doing that.
Moved ahead to the 48-yard line. First down 10. Once again, all sorts of pressure by Thomas. We'll throw it, kind of pitch it toward that sideline as he got dragged down in the direction of Lichetti. Take another look.
I mean, they're trying to get a naked bootleg coming at Keir Thomas. It's another amazing job of Thomas staying home, making a great play. And then it's Jurkovec doing his best Big Bend and getting the ball away. And because Lichetti's there, Phil Jurkovec just saved BC offensively about 12 yards.
Sure did. On 2nd down, Sinkfield trying to get out of that backfield, can't do it. They're all over him. It's Jermaine Johnson again. Another tackle for a loss. -5 on this one.
BC can't block Jermaine Johnson. Just can't block him right now. Here we go, and this is Tyler Vrabel trying to block him, and you just see for a man his size, the quickness, and Vrabel kind of gets his weight out in front. You just see the quickness, the hands, and the swim move. But Jermaine Johnson, we've seen him in the passing game. There he is in the run game.
6'5", 260. And all over Boston College. Jurkovec with time, and now on the move. Racing across the 50-yard line. He'll slide across the 40. That's a 16-yard run for a first down.
And that, you know, plays like that end up being backbreakers for defenses. Keir Thomas once again getting home. Ends up getting the hand warmer, you know, from Jurkovec, and Jurkovec already probably feels like he's played an entire game.
On the field with the line the game was made. Previous play is under further review.
So they will take a look at it. They will check the spot when we come back. 7:15 to go before halftime at Boston College.
Zaxby's Boneless Wings Meal couldn't possibly get any better. I stand corrected. The Great 8 Boneless Wings Meal with your choice of...
The banquet last night to see Tim go into the Boston College Hall of Fame. Again, congratulations to you, partner.
Thank you, Dave. And honestly, thank you to the whole crew. You guys have obviously glad to be here with you guys. And you know, a lot of people have had to dig deep to find plays of me at BC, so I appreciate it. And it's also good to see Tom O'Brien, former Boston College head coach and head coach here while I was a player.
He showed up to celebrate your honor last night, which a great thrill for the family. There's a lot of Boston College alums in there. I mean, a lot of them. Great school. Down to carry. Busting free Sinkfield down the left side. Got across the 20-yard line. And a 21-yard breakaway before Kevin Noles stopped him.
And Boston College is going to need to figure out a way to get productive plays like this in the run game, because it's been a struggle to pass block, and it's a pretty good job there blocking up front. Sinkfield running hard, and we've seen a couple of pretty good pickups for BC in the run game. I think they're going to need to do that with how difficult it's been for them to protect Jurkovec in the passing game.
And Jurkovec with 3 rushing first downs on his drive himself. First down 10. And a pitcher, Sinkfield again on the carry, using him a lot on this drive, but nowhere to go there. Will lose 3 yards as he is upended.
That's a big play by Kalen Deloach, who essentially puts down Ben Petrullo. Number 20, Deloach at 220 pounds, going after the 315-pound Petrullo, which ends up being a really, really nice play as BC's trying to get to the edge.
12th play of this drive, 14-3 Seminoles. Jurkovec. They'll dump this one right over the middle, and a quick strike. Got that one free to Jaden Williams. Noles again with the stop, but not before a 12-yard pickup.
Jaden Williams is a player that they want to get the football to. And think about Jurkovec, who's been under a lot of pressure. Does a nice job of hanging in the pocket as Williams was running a fairly long developing route. And he's a young player with probably the most speed out of this receiver group for BC.
3rd and 1. Sinkfield trying to pick up that yard. They cover him quickly. Didn't get it. Did not get it. Malcolm Ray, the defensive tackle, with a big stand to bring up 4th down.
And I think I would probably kick the field goal in this situation, as hard as it's been to block Florida State's front. And that's a good example of a 3rd down where Malcolm Ray is able to get in the backfield and make a play. They try to draw him off sides, but I would kick the field goal.
BC wants to talk about this with about 4.5 minutes to go here before halftime.
Timeout, Boston College.
And BC will take their first timeout. We will take the break as well. Florida State with a 14-3 advantage here at BC.
Of all the things that made Scrooge pout.
Stop Florida State. So I think Jeff Hafley's kind of making the decision. They're having a hard time defensively, and for that reason, going to leave the offense out there.
That front 4 for Florida State has been unstoppable. 4th down and 2. And Jurkovec. Garrow with the handoff, takes a crunching hit, still moving those legs, still moving, and Florida State said he didn't get there. Jarian Jones came up with a big hit, and Florida State with a defensive stand, they deny Boston College.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised to see Phil Jurkovec under center and then just run a lead play. He's under center, and they're just running a lead play here, and they're running it right at Jermaine Johnson, who just throws, looks like Joey Luchetti, just out of the way. Just stands him up and throws him out of the way. And once again, it's Jermaine Johnson who's just been too much.
He's in virtually every play.
Yeah, and I think that I was surprised to see BC just decide to run the football right at him, just because you know that in critical situations, BC's best thing is putting the ball in the quarterback's hands.
So the Noles take over. Travis going to throw long, has a wide receiver out there, and a big completion for a first down pass midfield to Pokey Wilson.
Well, after a big, stand defensively, Florida State decides to go at him and run him basically a rail route or a wheel route to Pokey Wilson, who's able to get outside the defense. And nice throw by Jordan Travis.
Yeah, 41 yards. Empty backfield here, 1st down and 10. Travis has him on the move again, and another complete pass. And fired out to that far sideline and caught by Daniel.
You go to the previous play. Here comes Pokey Wilson in motion. He just runs up the sideline, running a little spot route here. And BC doesn't do a great job of communicating or passing that off. And so Elijah Jones has got to end up running with him. He just can't stay with Pokey Wilson.
2nd down and 6 here for the Seminoles. Moving the football again. Already on top, 14-3. Their defense has been stout. The offense has been smooth, and that's because Travis can do so many things with it. On the carry here, Graham Mobley will get credit for the tackle. That's a 5-yard gain.
That's an example of that play I was referencing earlier. could get a quarterback sneak here.
And ahead he goes to move the chains. Florida State confident they have it. Inside the last 3 minutes of the second quarter. Let's see if they're going to measure this.
Timeout for measurement.
And they will.
I tell you, the play to run off of some of these like quick quarterback sneaks, or the fake quarterback sneak and then something to get out to the perimeter, is all these teams, you know, you bunch everyone up in there. Everyone knows that you're going to quarterback sneak it or thinks that you are. And I think Jordan Travis ends up getting this.
Here come the measurement guys with 2:48 left. Whoa. And how about this spot? He did not get it. So a wise choice to measure, just shy. So brings up 4th and inches.
Your reaction was exactly what I was thinking. It was like you were speaking for me when you saw, it was, I don't know, about 6 inches left for Florida State to pick up. And
yep, did not get it. So the football around the 38-yard line. 4th down and 1. Less than that for Florida State. And now movement up on that front line and a flag down. That goes against Gibbons, the left guard for FSU.
Ball start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
here's Gibbons right here, the right guard, the transfer from Notre Dame. You see his stance. He's getting ready to get low. You almost wonder if BC had a stem on. You know, we saw him earlier for, you know, getting called for almost simulating the snap count, and there was definitely a stem, and Florida State appears to be keeping their offense out there.
Indeed, 4th and 6. Going to continue to go for this, a very determined effort. Jashaun Corbin back in a running back. And flags again.
Snap infraction, number 53. Offense, 5-yard penalty.
Wow.
Still 4th down.
On the center, Smith.
Maurice Smith looks like he's going to snap the football. It's almost like the ball comes out of his hands. You see that? It was like he was rolling it on the ground. Now, what he wisely does is pick the football right back up. Now it's a penalty, illegal, you know, a snap infraction, but he doesn't pick that up. It's just a muffed quarterback center exchange. But how about that sequence for Florida State? You think you're picking up the first down on 3rd and 1. You don't. You're maybe going for it on 4th and inches, and then 2 consecutive basically pre-snap penalties that force you to punt.
Jalen Gill back at the 10-yard line. And over-end punt and a fair catch, and that's where the drive will begin. That's a 38-yard kick. 2.5 to go before halftime.
It's bow time.
Flag trivia question here on this beautiful afternoon in Boston. Which was the last team other than Florida State or Clemson to win the ACC Atlantic Division? That's what Wake is trying to do today, but they're having their struggles against Clemson at Death Valley.
And we knew that Wake had a tough close to their schedule, and it's proving to be the case.
Garwell with the carry. And straight on will pick up 2 hard-fought yards there. DJ Lundy will stop him.
Timeout, Florida State. It's their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
And we'll keep it right here. Clemson has just scored, by the way.
Please put 2 minutes, 26 seconds on the clock.
And they lead 17-3 in the second.
Thank you.
33 consecutive home wins for the Tigers. That's the longest FBS streak in the last 10 years.
Well, it was interesting to see, you know, Wake Forest at 10 and, you know, Clemson not ranked, but at home, you know, a favorite to win that football game. They are hard to beat in Death Valley, and when you think the magnitude of the games down the stretch for Wake Forest, obviously win and clinch, but if you don't win, you know, then you're traveling up to Chestnut Hill next week to play a Boston College team that's got their quarterback back. So yeah, Wake Forest really has their hands full.
2nd and 8, play action. Jurkovec down again. It's Thomas and Johnson.
Timeout, Florida State. That's their second charge timeout of half. 30-second timeout.
And they lose 6 yards on the sack. And back to our Aflac. I'll give you the answer. Which team the last one other than FSU or Clemson to win the ACC Atlantic Division? It was BC in 2008.
Matt Ryan had quite a bit of success at BC. Remember that? That is the Matt Ryan era. And
ACC Atlantic Division champions was Clemson with 7, FSU 5, BC and Wake Forest. Now Wake in 2006, so trying to do it again.
Well, and Dave Clawson said when they faced North Carolina State last week, it was like, no, this is Florida State Clemson now. That's what this is, and he's done a great job with that football program.
3rd down 14 after the sack. Jurkovec working out of the end zone, gets rid of it. And they're going to take him down in the end zone for safety. Or are they saying he got across? I think they said he did.
Ruling on the field, the ball was caught outside of the goal line. Forward progress at the 1-yard line.
Forward progress at the 1-yard line. Inside that.
Previous play is under further review.
Going to lose 5. They will take a look.
How much time?
Here's our best look at the line.
That's a safety, guys. I mean, that to me, and that is an awesome shot by our crew. But I'm looking at that, and that appears to be a safety. Travis Levy is catching the screen. Now, you remember, it's the opposite of scoring a touchdown. So the entire ball has got to be, into the field of play, not just the edge of it. And so when you look at this, Travis Levy is catching that football, ball in his right arm. Kalen DeLoach, who's made a couple of awesome plays here today, does an excellent job of beating the block of Zion Johnson, who's trying to get out to block him on the screen. I think that's a safety.
I'm with you. Football never got across there. Play under review with 1:58 to go. The defense for Florida State has shown up in a huge way here in Boston today.
In a huge way. The defensive line's been dominant. The linebackers, whether it's been DeLoach or Gaynor, have been so active.
They definitely feel like that's the case, the safety.
Well, and here's the story. They can't block the defensive ends right now, and so even though you're backed up.
After further review, the ruling on the field is a safety. Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Boston College will have a free kick.
And so even though you're backed up, you call a screen because you have to. It's 3rd and long, and you call a screen to draw the defensive ends in, which they do. But it's Kalen DeLoach who beats the block of Zion Johnson, and I would guess that was the last thing that Frank Cignetti thought would happen, calling a screen in that situation, that the back would catch the football in the end zone for a safety.
Once again, it was Jermaine Johnson with all sorts of pressure. You said it a half hour ago. They have no answer for him. And in the subsequent half hour, they have not figured out any answer for number 11.
No, and again, Frank Cignetti, talking to him in preparation for the game, said, look, our meetings, our game plan meetings started with pass protection, and you can see why.
Corbin busting it across the 40-yard line. Number 11 has been the player of this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of done everything, and it's not just been in one facet of the game. It's been the run game and the passing game. He's done a great job playing on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. He's gotten big hits on Phil Jurkovec, and it's look, we're highlighting him, and he's been dominant. But Keir Thomas has probably done just about as good a job on the other side. It's been a race to the quarterback, and what a find for Florida State.
Yeah, with the safety on top, 16-3. Final couple of minutes here, the first half. Travis gets free. He's on the move again to midfield. And kept on trucking before Valdez took him down, but a 12-yard pickup.
Yeah, I think the difference we're seeing in this football game right now is Boston College, when they get there to make a play behind the line of scrimmage, they're not making it, and Travis is running for first downs versus Jurkovec, who's been hit a bunch behind the line of scrimmage.
Now the receiver went down, incomplete, fired out of bounds. It was Wilson who went down on the play. No flag thrown. Minute 48 to go.
It looked like Pokey Wilson just lost his footing down at the bottom of your screen. They're rolling to him, and it's kind of as he's running that little pivot route, feet come out from underneath him, because I think it was a good, accurate throw by Jordan Travis.
Bring up 2nd and 10. FSU with time to get more points up there before the break. Travis has been strong again, running the show for the Noles. And another good pass and another completion. This time to McDonald, the tight end, for a first down and a 26-yard gain.
Boston College rotates the coverage to a single high safety look, and with double seams called for Florida State. Good job of seeing it, and good job of McDonald being ready for the football.
Under 90 seconds now. And a handoff. Corbin tried to dart outside, got across the 20-yard line. Bryce Steele tangled him up, a 3-yard gain.
Now, Florida State's got plenty of time. Just about a minute left. They do have a timeout left. They do have to hustle, but plenty of time after using a couple of those timeouts to stop the clock earlier when BC had the ball.
Another empty look. Travis wants the end zone. Thrown into the corner, incomplete. With a minute and 2 to go. And a 16-3 advantage for FSU. Florida State trying to pick up win number 5. Coming off that giant win against Miami, 31-28. Corbin returns as the running back now for the Noles. 3rd down and 7. Travis on the move at the 30, and out it goes. Off into the stands. Boston College and Cam Horsley bringing some pressure.
It was a good job of BC. It's man-to-man coverage, and guys did a good job of running with the receivers for Florida State, and then as Travis escapes outside the pocket, this ends up being a pretty big stand. For as poorly as Boston College has been able to play on offense, the fact that they hold Florida State there, pretty big stop.
Be a 36-yard attempt here by Ryan Fitzgerald. And this one is up, and this one is good. Boy, they are just automatic in the red zone. It's 28 for 28 now.
Which is incredible. Typically, it's been touchdowns, but at the same time, kicking game has been good, and just so much confidence, that comes from that. Once you get down in there, it's deflating when you get denied. And so, being able to come away with points, one of those things about just kind of being infectious and contagious, certainly a big deal.
Halftime report coming up. Wake Forest and Clemson. Big update brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance and Tim's induction into the BC Hall of Fame. Our entire crew feels like we're part of that, and the honor for my partner. He's a 2-year starter here at Boston College, 29 career touchdown passes, some huge wins along the way, and then a long career in the National Football League. 19-3, the family gathering here, many families to see players inducted with the ceremonies last night. Get your own sign, man.
That's what happens when your brother has a luxury suite at the stadium, I think.
Sinkfield wants to run it out of there. Gets across the 20. First down and 10. We're talking about the Atlantic race and what is on the line today with Wake at Death Valley. Got to win one of the last 2. They close out the regular season here at Boston College next weekend.
Yeah, and I think we knew that this would be a bit of a challenge, for Wake Forest. They had a close one last week as well, and You know, NC State obviously not out of it. And then the other aspect of it is this. Clemson, who I think everybody basically wrote off, still in the hunt.
Very much so, and they're up 17-3, incomplete, intended for Gill. You would think after all of these years, we'd all be smart enough to not write off the Clemson Tigers in any scenario.
I think, you know, Dabo Swinney, who's coached, you know, teams recently with, you know, a lot of good fortune for his football team and dealing with success. I feel like he's almost built to deal with adversity as well, and has coached his team well through that.
Jurkovec underthrowing a receiver here, incomplete. Trey Barry, the tight end, the man he was looking for, but didn't get there.
Well, I referenced it earlier. Sometimes, you know, since coming back for Phil Jurkovec, the ball just hasn't come out of his hand right. And I know they've talked about his grip strength not being 100%. That looked like one that just didn't come out of his hand the way he would have liked it to. And I think BC's got to be careful here. Running the football and just kind of getting to the half might be the best play.
3rd and 10. On the move, Levy. Levy upended around the 3rd. Well, kept up. And got a couple of extra yards after the point of contact. He makes 9 on that play with 29 seconds remaining.
Timeout, Florida State. That's their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
FSU on top 19-3. ACC football coming your way, 4 o'clock. Syracuse up against number 20, NC State. And the primetime game, Virginia Tech and Miami. 2 programs in flux right now as far as the athletic departments and the head coach.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It'll be interesting to see the effort and energy you see from those teams. I usually felt like when there was a big shakeup that it grabs everyone's attention in a way that you see guys end up playing really hard in those environments.
4th and 1. They'll punt here with 29 seconds before halftime. And Wilson standing back at the 25-yard line. Florida State is going to have the football to begin the second half, so they are in great shape right now. Wilson with a fair catch. And 23 seconds to do something after a 38-yard punt.
Look, I will say this, at Boston College.
During the kick, holding, number 5, return team. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down, Florida State.
Wake Forest, by the way, has just scored, so they trail 17-10 against Clemson.
Well, I will just say this, too, about Wake Forest. You have to expect they're going to score 35. I get they maybe haven't seen a defense as good as the Clemson defense that they're facing in the, you know, in Death Valley, but I think everyone on that Wake roster, both sides of the ball, just has an expectation that they'll score that many points in every game.
Because they do, right?
Yes.
I mean, what they're averaging over the last 6 or 7 games. First down and 10 here for the Seminoles, last 23 seconds. Travis going to go deep, looking for a long strike here, but incomplete. And no flag on the play, intended for Malik McLean. And a coverage by J.T. Thompson. 16 seconds to go.
I tell you what, BC playing this fairly aggressively for this situation. I mean, just, you know, around 20 seconds left in the half, playing cover 1, which basically means man-to-man coverage with only, you know, a single high safety deep. You know, McLean, you know, gets beyond the defense. BC's kind of fortunate that Jordan Travis overshot that.
2nd down 10 for the Noles. And will stay on the ground. Corbin looking to get outside, but out he goes, chased out by Marcus Valdez. Talented defensive end, a grad for BC.
And I will tell you, I think Boston College has to feel fortunate at 19-3 going in at halftime if it remains that way, with how poorly things have gone for them offensively.
And how stout the defense has been on the other side for Florida State. Travis will be chased down. He goes. That was Valdez again, who's had a good first half. They're going to lose 11.
Timeout, Boston College. That's their second charge timeout of the half. That's their second timeout. Please put 5 seconds on the clock. 5 seconds.
So reset the clock to 5. 5 seconds remaining.
Okay, so that's an interesting distinction here. With 1 second, you don't have to punt the football on 4th down. Take a snap, quarterback just launch the ball out of bounds in the direction of a receiver. You know, now with 5 seconds, you may still be able to do that, but it's got to develop a little bit longer. You have a chance for something bad to happen. Now, you wonder if Florida State feels like they have to punt, and if that is the case, you obviously want to punt the football out of bounds. Looks like they're going to leave the offense out there. What I believe they end up doing is running a receiver down the field. Jordan Travis throws the ball as far and as high and out of bounds as he can to the right to let the clock expire.
4th and 21. Travis from the 1-yard line. He does exactly that. And that's the end of the first half.
That's the end of the half.
With Florida State on top 19-3 over BC. My partner heads down to the field for the halftime ceremony, the BC Hall of Fame, and that class will be introduced to the crowd.
You're standing upright, and that just hasn't been the case for Phil Jurkovec. They haven't protected him well. He's been hit a ton, and because of that, it's been a struggle for Boston College offensively. We'll see what kind of adjustments they were able to make during halftime.
FSU on top, and they get the football back. Longman with the kick. And Corbin's going to take it out of the end zone and across the 15 to 20. And diving ahead to the 25 moments ago, Kelsey with Coach Hafley.
Coach, their defensive front gave you guys a tough time in the first half. What adjustments do you need to make?
We got to block their ends. Phil's getting killed. We got to protect for him better. We got to be aggressive right now. We're down. We got to be aggressive, and we got to do some things better coaching, obviously, too. Because
of that, Phil wasn't really able to get into a rhythm in the first half. What was your message to him at the break?
I just told our whole team in there, I don't care what the score is. I want to see us respond, and I want to see us fight.
Wants to see fight. Also wants to see his quarterback stay away from Jermaine Johnson and Keir Thomas.
And see his tackles block those guys. That's definitely been a factor.
Jordan Travis, first handoff as we get the second half underway. It's Corbin. And bouncing ahead for a 6-yard gain. And stopped by Cam Horsley. Again, the Eagles coming in at 6-4, 2-4 in the conference. The Noles at 4-6, 3-4 in the ACC. But coming off that big win over Miami. And the Seminoles will finish their regular season at Florida next Saturday. Mike Norvell said there are only 2 games at the beginning of the year I talk about with my team. Miami and Florida. That's it. And on the run into wide open spaces, it's Corbin again across the 50-yard line to pick up a first down with a 20-yard run.
Yeah, it's Corbin again. He's going to come in here. He's going to end up winding this back. But look at the movement they end up getting up front with their offensive line. He's doing a really good job. And I think the offensive line generally has been probably the most improved segment of this team.
Looking for a long strike. Oh, that's a tough play, but incomplete. He had the catch made for a split second. Andrew Parchment, but unable to hang on. Covered by C.J. Burton.
It's a pretty good throw by Jordan Travis away from the defender. Parchment, that's one you like to see him catch because the ball's right there. Back shoulder throw, hard to defend. Been a nice pickup, great throw.
Second down 10. Opening drive of the second half. FSU really trying to put a hammer down immediately. Ward in the backfield. It'll be a pass play instead. He's going to hit McDonald. And McDonald very tough to bring down. No one's done it yet. And those sticks keep on moving. Woodbay finally wrapped him up at a 15-yard pickup.
It's a great job. Play calling and execution there. Just kind of the run action gets Cam Arnold to aggressively play downhill. And then the throw comes in right behind him.
FSU wants to move quickly. And they're doing it. Another first down. Ward wrapped up this time. by Cam Arnold, and will lose 2 yards on that carry.
I've been impressed with Florida State, just their balance. I mean, the run action, some of the plays they have off of the run action, and they got a bunch of players involved as well. Just so unique each and every week, Dave. Almost looking like a completely different offense at times. Certainly have a good plan today.
2nd and long for Travis. Good time in the pocket. Lofts it over the top. And a jumping catch, incomplete. That was Ward out of the backfield. Boy, they're so effective throwing to the running backs.
They are, and they get these man coverage situations, and I think it's just the matchups that they like. You see where Ward is coming from, basically from in the backfield down the sideline.
Going for the end zone, and a catch in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Malik McLean with an outstanding grab, a flag down, but up high for the grab, but a touchdown, at least for the moment.
Legal substitution. Defense, more than 11 players on the field. That penalty decline. Result of the play or touchdown.
That did not take long, did it?
Not take long at all. And, Jeff Hafley talking to Kelsey at halftime wants to see how his team is going to respond. Well, I mean, the response came from Florida State, who just put together an impressive drive. And then Malik McLean just doing a great job of going up and getting the football, not waiting for it, attacking it. He's able to come down with it as BC's kind of waiting for it to come down to them.
Yeah, McLean, talented preseason freshman All-America out of Alabama, his 2nd touchdown of the season. The extra point good. FSU holding a hammer.
Yeah, holding the hammer is right. And it was that talented freshman climbing the ladder to help Jordan Travis out.
Team, we've waited all year for this. But game day isn't about wins or losses. It's about grills and...
It is now. You've named it. We've branded it, as we like to say. It's a done deal. I'd watch that.
Would you?
No question about it.
I don't know if Matthew could handle the questions Phil Mickelson was
Sinkfield on a breakout. Now cuts back inside. Across the 50-yard line. Dragged down at the 40. So there's the answer that they've been looking for all day. This goes 45 yards on the return.
Well, and they needed something to spark them because Jeff Hafley was looking for some fight out of his football team, and the defense did not give it to him in that first drive. They are able to get some good field position, which has been a bit of an issue for BC throughout this game. But finally, start a drive in plus territory.
FSU just coming off an impressive 7-play, 75-yard into the end zone drive that went 237. Garwo in motion on the fake. Jurkovec slams on the brakes, keeps the football. Here Thomas all over him. He's going to lose a yard on that carry.
And once again, it's great effort by Keir Thomas. Jurkovec looks like he maybe is going to be able to climb up and scramble, but it's Keir Thomas with great pursuit, basically relentless pursuit from the backside. And it was kind of interesting talking to Adam Fuller when we were asking about Jermaine Johnson, also talking about Keir Thomas and how valuable he's been for this defense.
Senior out of Miami. Jurkovec with time to throw this time, but it's incomplete, intended for Williams. Let's go down to Kelsey.
Well, Tim, you touched on it a little bit right there when Fuller told us that he's been as valuable as an addition as we've had, saying that, look, Jermaine gets a lot of the attention, and he should, but Keir Thomas has been doing big things for them as well. I actually got to talk to Jermaine Johnson a little bit about Keir, and he said the way he approaches the game, he's got this professional mindset. He's a guy that's gotten really close with him, and he says the way you come out and knowing he has his back every single time makes a big difference.
Yeah, they both look like Sunday afternoons are very much in their future. Jurkovec flushed out of there. Evading one tackle, directing some traffic downfield. Going to keep it, and got past the marker. And a good job as he is knocked out of bounds when sprawling there, but that's 17 yards.
It's a really good job of coverage. You just look at what happens. You know, they're playing with a too-high shell, and essentially they rotate it down. And there's really nowhere for Jurkovec to go with the football. We've seen this a bunch out of him. Nowhere to go. He's able to escape, and then he usually creates a lot of big plays when that happens. It's a good job there, just making a decision to run with it. Nice gain for BC.
Having trouble throwing the football today on the carry. Garwo to the right. Pat Garwo came in with a chance at a 1,000-yard season. He was about 100 yards shy of that coming into play. He's going to gain 6 on this carry.
And you know, BC, as bad as it's been, just think about last week for them against Georgia Tech. They were down. They looked a little bit flat. But there was some fight in their offense, which is why I think Jeff Hafley was talking about seeing some fight from his team. At least the offense seems like they're responding.
And off again. It's Garwo. Had an opening there. Finally down, but a first down. Thought for a moment he was going to break into the end zone. He picks up 10. Hakeem Dent with the stop. And first and goal here for the Eagles.
Yeah, and with a lot of football left, you know, Boston College doesn't need to change its identity offensively. It's going to stick with the run. And, you know, you can't be in a situation against this front, especially the way the first half went, of just dropping back every play. It's already been decided that, you know, BC really can't pass protect one-on-one.
Garwo to the 5. Only 5'8", 215 pounds. Pennsylvania guy, and gets tough yards. Picked up 3 there.
You know, BC likes his vision, his power, but also his balance. You know, he kind of runs through plenty of contact, but has great balance.
Second and goal for Boston College. Trying to get back in this game. Garwo bouncing outside and gets a little bit closer. And he has been the man on this drive. Jarvis Brownlee with a tackle. With 9:16 to go in the third.
Yeah, and what BC's trying to do with their run game is come down and block the edge players to force the corners for Florida State to replace, meaning become the new force players and make the tackle. It's Brownlee a couple times on this drive.
On the 2-yard line, Garwo, and he's just going to... Down goes the quarterback. An outstanding stop there by FSU all over Jurkovec. That was Keir Thomas again.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Jermaine Johnson said, look, I got the first half. Keir Thomas, you get the second half in terms of being disruptive. And Jurkovec, I think, just makes the wrong decision on his own read. Rather than giving the ball to Garwo as Keir Thomas came up the field, he decided to keep it, and Keir Thomas there to make the play.
Thomas is just having a huge afternoon. So 4th and goal. And they'll stop play right here. They're both pretty angry at the moment, and we'll take a timeout here. 26-3. FSU dominating so far.
Don't be shy now. Like the prime cut.
Well, Mike Norvell very happy with the score, but not that last incident on the field.
I was furious. I mean, look at him at the top of the screen, and then he goes and lets some of his defensive players have it. Talking about the substitution, and here's why. When you look at it, basically forced to take the timeout because there's only 10 guys on the field. And, you know, with 10 guys on the field on a critical 4th down, you've got to burn a timeout. And kind of a mistake that you don't want to make and wouldn't expect to make with as well as they've played so far today.
Well, 4th and goal, 26-3. And a long drive here for Boston College. FSU trying to make another stop. Jurkovec in a handoff this time and got down and into the end zone for the touchdown. Pat Garwo, they really jumped on his back on that drive, and from 3 yards, he's in for 6.
There's no doubt about it. Dave leaned on the run game that drive, and Boston College comes back with the zone read that they ran earlier, where Jurkovec ends up keeping the football, made the wrong decision that time, made the right decision, handed to 24 and let his big back punch it in.
9 plays And 40 yards, took a little over 4 minutes.
Further review.
And they will take a look on the scoring play. See if the knee went down before he got across the line.
And his knee is definitely down shy of the goal line. Looks like right there, and it's kind of hard to see where that elbow is with the football. I think another great shot right down the goal line. We had one earlier. Our guy Torian with the handheld camera helped us out on the safety, which actually overturned the call on the field.
That's the key.
The shot was so good, and you know, here ruling on the field is the touchdown, and I just don't know with bodies around there and where his knee comes down if there's enough evidence to reverse that call.
Give you another look as Garwo dives ahead, and that's so hard to tell there.
Yeah, and you know, his knee's down shy. Obviously the ball's out in front of his knee in his left arm, which, you know, from this angle here, when you see his knee go down, it's still so hard to tell where it is, but I will say it is a great shot. I will say, I just don't know that there's enough to see where that football is when his knee is down to overturn it.
That call on 4th and goal, so obviously a giant call in the game. And they continue to look on the field. The ruling is a touchdown for Pat Garwo, his 7th of the season. Michael Webster, our replay official.
What's interesting, I mean, with as long as this is taken, we look at that shot from right down the goal line, his knee is clearly short. But we know the ball from the other angle is in his left arm, and you can't see where that is because of a defender in the way.
So, to your original point.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Will be a touchdown. Just not enough evidence to overturn that.
No, not enough to overturn it. And you know, a huge play for BC, because now, you know, if the kick ends up being good, you know, it's just a 2-score game. Obviously with touchdowns and 2-point conversions, which, you know, the word of the day seemed to be, when we talked to BC, hope. With their quarterback back, at least you have some hope.
Litton connects on the point after. That drive set up by a 45-yard kickoff return. And Garwo into the end zone. So here's the play where he kept it. Jurkovec, and that backfired.
Yeah, and so it's a zone read, and they're reading Keir Thomas right there. If he comes up the field at all, you're going to give the ball to the back. And Thomas does a great job of reading it, and so they just come right back to it. He's like, all right, he came up the field, give it to him, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, a lot of times, Dave, people talk about quarterbacks reading the defense. Well, it doesn't just apply to the passing game, especially now with so many quarterbacks part of the run game with zone reads. You know, that's a read as well. You're reading that defensive end, need to make the right decision in the run game. First time Jurkovec did not, second time he did. Gets BC back on the board.
Danny Longman laying into this one. And Corbin to bring it. Oh, he got popped at the 20-yard line. And that was the end of that return. And a pretty serious stick there. Joseph Sparacio answering the call, and you know, his head coach was saying at halftime, need to get tough, need to get a little mean and get back in the game.
Looking for some fight, and Sparacio giving him a little bit of fight, and I think this is the response Jeff Hafley was looking for. Yeah, but as we talked about Florida State defensively dominating BC, you know, offensively BC really has not had an answer for Jordan Travis.
They'll run it here, make it a spin move to pick up a couple extra yards. Brendan Barlow with the stop. And a 7-yard gain. Let's go down to Kelsey.
Well, guys, exactly what you're saying right there about keeping that spark alive, and the energy is what I'm hearing on the sidelines. Vinny DePalma, one of their vocal leaders, said this is no time to feel sorry for ourselves. We can't have bad body language. We've got to go out there and make plays. Coach is really preaching, tackling, and having confidence.
Quarterback will keep again. And Travis dragged at the 40 by Graham Mobley, but that's a first down. He scampers for 12.
The athleticism out of Jordan Travis is really impressive. Really bad snap. And look at this. Like, no big deal. One hand, I got this, and then do a good job of executing the read off of it, which was either give the ball to Corbin or keep it. He kept it. Nice play.
Coming off 62 yards rushing against Miami. And staying on the ground again. And Travis, the West Palm Beach native, rushed for over 100 yards in back-to-back games this season. 113 yards against Syracuse and then 121 against North Carolina.
You know, being down on the field prior to the game and seeing him up close. He's a big, strong kid. I mean, I just, looked bigger than I thought he was, which is, when you add in the, how he's run the football, been a part of it, and the backs, obviously, we've seen what Corbin has done, been good as well.
Travis dumps it off short. And a completed pass out of the backfield. And once again, it's going to be Treshaun Ward with the catch, gaining 4.
Well, Brandon Barlow reads the screen, sees it. Looks like he's there, ready to make the play, but just retrace your steps to the top of the screen. 44, Barlow's going to see it and turn and go to Corbin, but just can't get there fast enough. And then you see Corbin, who does a good job of getting up the field as soon as he catches that football.
Key call here, 3rd down and 4 for the Seminoles. And the sophomore quarterback trying to move those sticks again. And that's going to be complete here on the near sideline. Complete to Parchment. And that will move them again. The 14-yard pickup.
Yeah, it's just a simple little out route at the bottom of their screen versus off coverage. And Florida State's done that a few times today, where you get off coverage, they'll roll Travis to the receiver, and it's pretty easy pitch and catch for Jordan Travis and Parchment.
Empty backfield on 1st down at the 40. Trying to get out of that pocket. He's still alive. Zips the pass incomplete. On a short toss to Ward, but could not connect.
One of the things about Jordan Travis that I feel like has really shown itself, and I think there's been growth throughout the season, is how good he is pre-snap. And the coaches referenced it, and we had a chance to talk to him this week. A lot of times he uses that fake clap and then the clap to initiate the snap, but looking at the defense and then getting this offense into the right play.
He'll throw the football again. And did not get anywhere near 1st down there. It was Douglas with the catch for 6. So once again facing a 3rd and 4.
Well, and I will say, just like we saw on 2nd down, if Boston College is going to play as much off coverage as we've seen, they've traditionally throughout the season been a press man football team defensively, but given a fair amount of coverage, JT Thompson, 33, has been playing off quite a bit. Looks like he's impressed now, but if you get free access throws, just go ahead and throw it out there, which we've seen Jordan Travis do.
McDonald, a tight end in motion. Another short catch, another short pass, and going to be well short. To a Philly unable to get anything after the grab. In fact, it loses a yard. And it was Jaden Woodbay there to make the stop.
Well, it was interesting. They ran this play earlier. This is the play that Tuafili cut for a touchdown. They motion the tight end over there. They get 2 blockers out in front, just spit it outside. That time, he's seen it, and Woodbay had seen it, and the Florida State transfer got out there quickly. Yeah, Jordan Travis is like, wait a second, I think they've seen that play before.
Yeah, transferred this summer from FSU to BC. So 4th down and 5 Travis to go for it. Good protection in the pocket. It's broken up. Incomplete. Intended for Douglas, but Mike Palmer, the fifth-year man, but a flag is down with 3:35 left in the third.
There's 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, high hit on the quarterback, number 97. Defense, we had illegal formation. Offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. Those fouls offset. Replay 4th down.
Wow. Well, a couple things here. I mean, Valdez can't go high on Jordan Travis because Mike Palmer ends up making a great play. And man, it's these plays, forcible contact. That's how they call them. I mean, that's just, whether people like it or not, that's how they call them. That's a redo, and for BC, I expect him to come after Jordan Travis.
So the Seminoles get another shot at it at 4th and 5. Travis throwing short again. He got it in there, tangled up, but he's going to pick up enough for a first, a 9-yard gain, a flag down. And they continue the scrum. Jordan Young with the grab, the wide receiver. They're going to get together on this flag. 3:24 to go. A couple of them dropped here.
Illegal formation. More than 4 players in the backfield. Number 76 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Yeah. Darius Washington, look at his stance. He's so far back that they're not saying he's on the line of scrimmage. And it's happened 2 plays in a row. Typically how that works is if official is going to flag an offensive lineman for not being far enough up on the line of scrimmage, he'll warn him. He'll say, hey, 76, you're cutting it close, like you got to move up. Normally you get some type of warning. So considering that it was flagged the previous play, you would think that Darius Washington maybe adjusted his alignment.
Hill standing at the 10 as FSU punts. And trying for the corner and a coverage by FSU. Able to get down quickly. It was Wilson. 35-yard kick. Great field position. One time knocked down in a big way in a standing coverage.
I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I can't tell you the
yards in the first half. Nothing going in the second half. And Zay Flowers, their big play receiver, just 1 target. Dave, you got to feel like that's something that's got to change. And even if you don't have time to get the ball down the field to Zay Flowers, you got to find other ways to get to him. But the story's been pressure. And they had Flowers down the middle, and Keir Thomas was able to get to Jurkovec before he was able to get it off. But I almost wonder if Frank Signetti with maybe some of those touch passes, fly sweeps, something to get the talented number 4 more involved.
Quarterback's going to hang on to it again and drag down in the backfield. Nowhere for Jurkovec to go. DJ Lundy taking him down. A loss of 2.
And you see the speed of Lundy. I mean, we know Jurkovec eats up a lot of ground once he gets rolling, and Lundy does a good job of racing him to the perimeter to get him down.
You mentioned speed. The defensive speed of FSU is striking.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just watching it, see the way they go, especially the way they rush the passer, the way they pursue. It's been impressive.
Jurkovec back into the end zone. And that time Flowers covered too much. And that's going to be a number of flags dropped. Brendan Gant, strong safety all over him.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
First down and a little bit gimpy, Flowers.
Yeah, Flowers is running a shallow cross, and there's another shallow cross coming his direction. They're trying to get a little bit of a rub. They don't get it. Gant just grabs him early, and at the end of this, looks like he got kneed in the calf or something. Kind of hobbles off.
Gallo tried to cut back inside, but they are there to say hello. Kalen Deloach, who's had another big game. And Flowers trying to work out the pain, that calf that took a hit.
Yeah, and that'd be a huge, I mean, look, if BC wants to mount something to come back, he's their big play guy. They're going to need him back out there.
Yes.
If they have a shot.
40 catches coming in. He's been shut down today. Jurkovec, short. Another flag as he hit Gill, but a flag dropped. 5-yard pickup. And McClellan with the tackle. 1:05 to go here in the third quarter.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face. Number 91, defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's Cooper.
And, you know, when you think about what's happened today, you know, BC's biggest plays have kind of come on penalties from Florida State defensively, and you know, the illegal hands to the face by Cooper aiding this drive for BC. You see the right side of the screen, 91, you know, on Zion Johnson, just kind of pushing in his helmet between his face mask and his helmet.
You know, Florida State penalized for the 10th time, Tim. 4 of those for first downs. So those penalties really kept Boston College alive. Jurkovec with time, and it's broken up. Florida State busts up the play. Akeem Dent to slap it.
Well, Dave, you just mentioned the speed showing up for Florida State defensively. That's a great example of it, as Akeem Dent is chasing, you know, a route, an over route. Those are hard to run down. Now, the ball's thrown a little bit behind Jelani Galloway, but it's Akeem Dent with great closing speed to get his hand in there to knock it away.
Brings up 2nd and 10. Flowers back in. And complete to Flowers. Evades one, evades another. Cuts outside. They'll get to the 40, cutting back inside. And they are going to take him down at last, but a marvelous run after the catch. It goes for 45.
Dave, I think his calf is okay. He runs a little bit of a spot route. Jurkovec takes a while to get it to him, and then this is what we were referring to. It just, he's such a dynamic player. I mean, that's not down in two-hand touch either time, and he's a really special player. Frank Cignetti has told us in the past that he wants to get, you know, at least 2 touches a game to Zay Flowers. You can see why.
They needed that life. 38 yards after the catch for Flowers.
Of all the things.
Our Subway game refresh. Boston College hanging in there. The drive started on their own 4-yard line.
But, you know, you just look at what's happened this half. I mean, just a big return. They were able to punch it in on 4th down. And then Zay Flowers, after he looked like he maybe was going to be hobbled, looked anything but hobbled on that 38-yard pickup. And now BC in a 2-score game just outside the red zone, and Phil Jurkovec starting to get in a little bit more of a rhythm than he was in the first half.
And flag immediately.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 16, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down. Please reset the clock to 15 minutes.
It's on the tight end, Luchetti.
Jeff Hafley's like, really, guys? Like, right now, it just, well, BC can't afford to get off schedule because of their inability to pass protect. And so penalties like that are never good, but they hurt more in certain situations. And when you are having a hard time with pass rushers, that would be one of those situations.
Very experienced offensive line with 3 grads. First down and 15. He's going to fire that one, broken up by Florida State. They do have a man down. Zay Flowers, the intended receiver. Brownlee getting up.
It's a good job of Brownlee of driving on the ball. Flowers probably could have come back to it a little bit, but you know, clearly for BC and Jurkovec, you know, the challenge is that ball kind of, you know, lost a little bit of energy as it was getting there. And again, it's Keir Thomas, he just kind of pushing Tyler Vrabel back into the quarterback's lap.
2nd and 15. Time to throw it, and overthrew it. He wanted Jaden Williams, nowhere near. 3rd and 15 coming up for BC.
You just can tell, and I said it earlier that hits on the quarterback are cumulative. And typically what happens when you are having a hard time protecting the quarterback, the coach will say, hey, look, we can't hold it back there. The ball's got to come out on time. And one of the things Jurkovec does so well is hold the football and then create big plays. Just hasn't had that opportunity because of the way Florida State defense is played.
From the 27-yard line, rifles that one in a diving catch and completed to Levy out of the backfield for the first down. Big play for the Eagles, 17 yards.
Big play and a great call. Basically get that back coming out, run a post. Our post out of the backfield. And what that does is it basically gets a flat-footed linebacker trying to cover the middle of the field. Good call, good execution by BC.
Early fourth quarter, play action, Jurkovec flushed out of the pocket. Directing traffic, and he wants the end zone now. He's going to be short of that inside the 5-yard line. Knocked out by Noles, but he'll scamper for 7.
Almost like Phil Jurkovec forgot that he could run it. We mentioned him directing traffic. He's trying to tell Zay Flowers where to go. And all of a sudden, I think he heard the crowd. That happens sometimes, like the big gasp of, hey, or you can take off and run, which obviously he eventually decided to do.
Flowers wide left. Second down goal for Boston College. Hanging around today against Florida State. At times it looked like they were going to get blown out here on their home field. Garwo to carry, runs into a stack in front of him. And no place to maneuver there before Robert Cooper made the tackle. And 3rd and goal.
This has been the best game that I have seen Kalen DeLoach play. Number 20 for Florida State, in the middle of that defense. When he's not making plays, he's standing up linemen to let his teammates make plays. He's done a tremendous job today. I mean, this entire Florida State defense has, but that has been his best game I've seen him play.
Jurkovec under center here, looking to throw it. Pressure, and it's down on the deck, and it's picked up by Florida State. FSU with the football. Was it a fumble?
Ruling on the field is a fumble, recovery by the defense, 1st and 10.
Now recovered by Robert Cooper, number 91. And under immense pressure, it came loose.
Yeah, Zay Flowers running a little whip route at the top of the screen. See that? That to me is
ruling on the field was a fumble, recovery by the defense. Previous play is under further review.
He's out-leveraged the defense, and Phil Jurkovec is trying to hold on to the football and come off of it when I think that ball should have gone out to Zay Flowers. And what's interesting, I initially thought the ball was hit and came loose in his hands. Looking at like that again, if his arm is coming forward, his elbow gets hit, but the ball was secure in his hand, if that's coming forward, I think there's a chance that that is an incomplete pass.
And guess who? Jermaine Johnson in there once again, ruling on the field a fumble.
It's bow time.
On the field is an incomplete forward pass. 4th down and goal at the 3-yard line on the left hash.
So no fumble. Jurkovec's going to try and carry the end zone. He jumps in for a touchdown. Touchdown, Boston College. A 3-yard run from the quarterback. Calling it 2.5. And that makes it 26-16. Boston College. Got to go for 2 here.
You do. What a turn of events when you think about it. I mean, really, by the narrowest margin, that ball is ruled incomplete because it's secure in Jurkovec's hands as it's going forward. And then another opportunity. They basically run quarterback sweep, and now need to go for 2 to make it a 1-score game.
So BC going for the 2-point conversion. Have the tight end Luchetti in motion. Garwo, the running back. Obviously, Jurkovec can do that as well. And a timeout.
Timeout, Boston College. That's their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
12:57 remaining in this one.
Well, so you look at what happened here. They're going to end up blocking down on Keir Thomas and then pulling around Tyler Vrabel. So they essentially get quarterback sweep, get the perimeter, get big guys blocking little guys out in space, and then great effort by Jurkovec to sell out to get into the end zone. And, you know, Hafley didn't like the look he had for the two-point play. Looked like Phil Jurkovec running down the field
yes.
to get the timeout called. And listen, if you don't like your play, you think of the magnitude. And listen, it's a two-point swing here. You have to love your call. Makes it a one-possession game, which, with the way the second half started, with Florida State marching the ball down the field, clearly has BC, you know, in a much different situation than they were after that initial drive.
And energized. 13 plays, 96 yards. They had a long way to go, and now going for 2. And they finally got Flowers involved. Jurkovec back to throw, and going to be broken up and incomplete, so cannot convert. Going for 2 there. He wanted the tight end, the Chetty, but Akeem Dent was there.
Yeah, and the problem is Cooper now getting pressure, and so as he's trying to get the ball to the corner, he's just under pressure one more time. Can't follow through on the throw. And so rather than the throw going to the back pylon, and he gets hit again. And look, that was pretty much catch, drop, throw. That was not, you know, a quarterback holding on to the football, and ball ends up being inaccurate. And I think once again, you've got to credit this Florida State defensive line. That's just been disruptive the entire game.
And Jurkovec takes another pop. He has spent considerable time on the ground here today. He's been hit a lot, sacked 4 times, hurried half a dozen times, knocked down 4 times.
Yeah, and we know he's tough. I mean, he rushed back from this injury, but when quarterbacks get hit, it just takes its toll over time, and I think that there's been an element of that with how he's played.
26-16, and Monday night Catch-A College basketball doubleheader starting with Charleston Southern against Georgia Tech at 7. That's followed by Coach K and his number 7 Duke Blue Devils taking on the Citadel. Both games right here on ACC Network, as well as the ESPN app. One app, one tap.
It's a big drive for Florida State. You know, when you think about, you know, some of this momentum back in the favor of Boston College, you know, I would think that we get a heavy dose of Jordan Travis in the run game.
Travis going to hand off here. It's Corbin. Can't get loose. Quick response by BC and Chris Banks.
But almost a turnover created because of the penetration at that mesh point of the handoff, Dave. And Florida State almost fortunate that there wasn't a mishap in the backfield.
2nd and 9. Florida State with the football, 4-6 at the moment. Try and draw even inside the ACC. With a victory, they'll be 4-4 in conference play. Travis going short and busted up by BC on the diving effort by Cam Arnold, the linebacker. Nice job reading that one. 12-11 to go.
Well, BC is bringing blitzes. Here comes pressure, okay? And then what happens is they peel off of it and cover this angle route. And that's a heck of a play in zero coverage by Cam Arnold coming underneath.
Third down 9. Trayshawn Ward into the running back. Travis holds his ground and throws it incomplete. Another one broken up. And the stop by BC. Wilson was the intended receiver, but C.J. Burton was on top of him.
C.J. Burton, you know, they end up doing a good job of just locking it as the switch release happens, and then the ball's left a little bit inside. That was probably a little bit fortunate that Burton wasn't able to make a better play on the football and pick it off. You want to miss that one towards the sideline, and it's a pretty quick 3 and out for Boston College.
So Gill standing back at the 35. First 3 and out today for Florida State. How about that? And a fair catch, some contact there, and a flag is down. Fair catch was called for. Now Boston College suddenly gaining some momentum. And a flag dropped. 26-16 FSU into the fourth quarter. Late afternoon here in Boston.
And you think Boston College has had a few drives today where it started inside the 5-yard line. As the officials discuss whether or not there's enough contact.
After the completion of a fair catch signal, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team, 15 yards from the end of the kick, first down, media timeout.
You know, and Mike Norvell not happy about it because the amount of contact seems quite minimal for a personal foul. But BC's defense stepping up, giving Phil Jurkovec in the offense another shot at it.
When Subway opened, they changed the fast food game. But sometimes you gotta refresh to be fresh. Welcome to the Eat Fresh Refresh, where there's so much.
The Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway.
Great day at halftime for the Hasselbeck family. There's Matt, or Matthew as you call him.
That's right.
Your mom and dad. Of course, your dad, an NFL guy as well. Great family legacy. Jurkovec on the move across the 50, slipped a little bit as he cut inside. And a stop by Brownlee, a 3-yard gain.
You know, and yeah, you know, Elizabeth, I think a little overboard getting the kids the T-shirts on there, but really fun. Good to see Pat Kraft, athletic director of Boston College, thankful for the BC Varsity Club, and Derek Knight and all those guys put a lot of work into it. Great time for my family.
I say great job, Elizabeth. That's the way you do that. A spinning move on a nice carry by Alex Sinkfield. You know, when he's gotten an opportunity today, he's played very well.
He's played really well, and you know, the run game has come to life a few times for Boston College, and you know, there's still plenty of time to, again, not change who you are offensively. 11 minutes left in a 10-point game. You know, BC continuing to kind of pound the football. Still okay.
Pat Garwo returning as the back here for the Eagles.
And to me, I'm going zone read here because it's been so hard to block the defensive ends. Just read them.
Garwo takes it, finds an opening, and picks up a first down. Kevin Noles will stop him, but up before he gains 6 and moves the sticks.
And that's exactly what that was. It was a
timeout, injured Florida State player.
That's DJ Lundy. Middle linebacker is down. We will have to take the break.
Media timeout.
39 remaining. 26-16 FSU.
At PNC Bank, we believe in the power of taking steps forward.
In the guards. Jordan Cornette here with your studio update. Wake and Clemson. Wake wins. They're going to the championship. Clemson looking to keep their conference championship hopes alive, and it's Kobe Pace punching one in. 38-19 at this point.
Man, that offense has come alive for the Clemson Tigers at the right time.
I mean, in the wrong time for Wake Forest.
Well, Boston College on the drive here. First down and 10 for Jurkovec. Wants a big strike here. Has a receiver into the end zone. Flowers. And a touchdown. 36-yard strike to his #1 receiver. We've been wondering much of the day, when would he be a big factor in this one, and he is now.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Strike is right, because that was a beautifully thrown ball by Phil Jurkovec. And then we've talked about Zay Flowers and his speed. They like to use him on you know, what are called downtown
field of
routes.
the touchdown. Previous play is under further review.
Now, I think they're going to look at, you know, if he ends up being out of bounds as he tries to sneak inside that pylon.
Zay Flowers for the 5th time this season. If it holds up, here's the look. Yep, that looks like a touchdown.
To me, this should be a quick one because, you know, the ball's in his right hand. His left hand kind of hits that pylon and appears to be over the goal line. You know, I think, you know, Zay Flowers kind of had an interesting season because without Phil Jurkovec in the lineup, I think it was a bit of a struggle for him. You know, there were times that he was getting open and was not getting the football.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And that's hard for receivers. They're used to getting the ball. They're used to having big plays. And when you're getting open and not being rewarded for it, it can be hard. And sounds like he's kept a good attitude through that. And, you know, now having Phil Jurkovec back in the lineup, you can see the difference it makes.
Connor Lighton for the point after to make this a 3-point game, and he will drill it to make it 26-23. So high drama here on the Heights.
Well, Flowers is going to end up in the slot, and, you know, ultimately what happens is he ends up getting outside. And you see where he is lined up so far inside the numbers that he leaves the quarterback all of that room to throw the football. And Jarvis Brownlee has got so much room to cover. And so you see how the condensed split of being inside the numbers leaves all of that room to kind of fade into, and for Jurkovec to put the ball. It's a good job of kind of formationally giving your best player an opportunity to just go run underneath it, and then a good job by Jurkovec. And you see the big play threat. Just 2 catches for 80 yards. And, you know, one of them down the field and one of them just a kind of a 5-yard spot route.
Yeah, it was a non-factor really in the first half. Targeted only the 1 time, but a couple of giant plays here in the second half to draw BC to within 3, 26-23. As they kick off. And a fair catch. Just yesterday, Kelsey Riggs caught up with Zay Flowers.
It's just great to have him back, like to have his presence in the locker room, have his presence on the field, because you never know when he's going to do something like explosive or give you a pass that's like you never had before, or even run. You know, you seen that he got faster. He ran for 3 touchdowns last game, but it's great to have him back.
I would say it's definitely good to have him back, guys. Before the offense took the field, Zay Flowers skipped all the way over to Phil Jurkovec, looked him straight in the eyes. They shook hands. They didn't say anything, just looked at each other like, this is it, this is the moment. You saw how they just responded, and also the defense coming out and responding on the other end as well. But Zay talked a lot about the confidence that he has with Phil Jurkovec back, and they were throwing each other a lot of compliments rather. Zay talking about, hey, I'm one of the fast guys on this team, but you should see what Phil's doing. Phil really put in a lot of work to work on his legs during that time that he was out, guys, and it's paying off between those two.
At Boston College with touchdowns on their last 3 drives. Travis trying to answer now, and he'll fire that one complete. Low one to Douglas, but going to pick up a first down.
To me, Zay Flowers talking sounded like a guy that was like, hey, make sure you throw it to me more.
Injured Florida State player.
You look faster, you're better looking, passes I've never had like that before, the whole thing. And they have a special connection. There's no question about that. And Zay Flowers, a really talented player who has long speed, but also has great quickness. And, you know, I think that just got to find more and more ways for him to have an opportunity to touch the football.
Player down is Darius Washington, a tackle for FSU. Today you were inducted into the BC Hall of Fame. Who was that guy for you when you were the starting quarterback here on the Heights in Boston? Who's the go-to guy?
Dedrick DeWalt was my guy from Chicago, Illinois. And he was a really good player, similar to Zay Flowers. And in fairness to my time here, Dave, let's be real, it was about the run game at BC. And that's usually the case with Boston College. The history of great offensive linemen here, great running backs.
Although, as you would say at that particular period, a giant mistake by the offensive staff. I mean, a total waste of a, well, you had a tremendous career, and obviously with 29 touchdown passes, you're in the top 10 all time here at BC, and that's saying a lot with the quarterbacks who come out of here.
There have been some good ones, but BC going to have to do it, through the air and on the ground, and they're going to have an answer for this. We've seen this twice now, Dave. Rolling the quarterback out and working the perimeter. That's an area where Florida State definitely feels like they've got a good matchup advantage. Their receivers outside the numbers versus Boston College's corners.
Went to Williamson, the freshman, as they connected for 9. 2nd down and 1 for the Noles. Travis likes to throw on the move, so effective with that. Another completion, or actually he dropped it, yeah. Incomplete. Intended for Williamson again, and good coverage by J.T. Thompson on the hit.
Yeah, I agree, Dave, because I thought that he caught it as well. Good job being violent at the moment of truth for J.T. Thompson. Now 3rd and 1. We've seen Florida State go with some quarterback sneaks. I would believe that there's some type of option they have. Either give the ball to the back or have Jordan Travis keep it and try to follow a blocker.
3rd and short. And a timeout.
Timeout, Florida State. That's their 2nd charge timeout. Media timeout.
Will break as well. 9:11 to go here at BC.
This is my wallet before, and this is my rich wallet.
It's smaller, lighter, and a lot more convenient than my old leather wallet.
And helps me get rid of...
Over 9 minutes to play. 3rd down and 1. Travis handing off for Corbin. Couldn't bounce outside. He's denied. He is denied a 1st down. Vinny DePalmo's had a big one. Brings up 4th down and 1.
And it's a nice play by Mike Palmer, and almost think that Florida State, would have run some type of option play. Instead, they kind of just get, under center and decide to run right at him. And for Florida State, I did not think that I liked the decision to go for it here. You have the opportunity to play field position, pin Boston College back.
Well, the crowd the most alive it has been all day, and diving ahead. Did they get it off in time? I mean, the clock was winding down.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Did not get it off. Well, they have made mistakes that have really cost them today.
In pre-snap penalties, I thought that they were basically in a situation where they were going to try to get BC to jump off sides. Think about maybe not snapping the football, but they were trying to sneak it and get the 1st down. And I've got to be honest, you see the play clock down at the bottom, and it's at 0 for a little bit before that ball is snapped. And I actually think this helps Florida State. I think the right decision was to punt the football, try to pin Boston College, give them a long field, and
Mano, and a fair catch by Gillett around the 10-yard line. That's where the drive will begin now for the Eagles, a 47-yard kick. And now Phil Jurkovec, who came back a couple of weeks ago. Many, including Phil Jurkovec, were none too sure he would return this year from a broken bone in the wrist. He's been much better in the 2nd half, Tim.
Been much better because they found big plays. That being said, he's still only completed half of his passes. And for Florida State, if you think about the thing that has really hurt them, it's been penalties that have aided drives. It's one of the reasons I felt like punting the football is the right move is, hey, play good defense, don't hurt yourself. You get a good chance to get the ball back.
Exactly 8 minutes to go in this one. They'll stay on the ground, and Garwold, not a lot of room to maneuver, picks up one. Keir Thomas has had a brilliant day for FSU with the stop.
Yeah, he's had a brilliant day, and part of what's happened, they, the ends for Florida State have won against the tackles. But the other thing that's happened is when Boston College has tried to block Keir Thomas and Jermaine Johnson with tight ends, it just hasn't worked.
Second down. He steps up, gets it off to Flowers. They're going to be so entertaining to watch. They're going to collar him out as he is spun out by Deloach, but he picks up 12.
Yeah, simple shallow cross by Zay Flowers, and Deloach, who I mentioned earlier, has been having a great day. He just can't run with Flowers. That's not a great matchup, but a good job of getting him down. It did look like he had more shoulder than nameplate there, which is why that would not be a horse collar tackle.
1st and 10. On the ground again. And a carry by Garwold, stopped by Deloach.
Yeah, Deloach is like, hey, look, let me make those plays where you're running the football. I'm a linebacker, let me remind you. Chasing, their fastest player across the field, that's a tall task. So, hey, let me play downhill and tackle a running back.
Galen out of the beautiful city of Savannah, Georgia. Second down, Jurkovec on his feet and sliding ahead. And picks up 13 yards. Akeem Dent gets credit with the stop, but a 13-yard pickup. They move the sticks again.
Yeah, Jeff Hafley is furious because his quarterback gives himself up again. Sliding feet first. And then, it's his shoulder, but he's giving himself up. Jeff Hafley's furious, and I will tell you, these are hard for defensive players, but that one doesn't look that much different than the one we saw earlier today.
No, it did not. Under 6 minutes to go. Garwold cutting back inside to the 40. Brownlee and Dent there with the stop, 5-yard gain. And that clock continues to run. Florida State up by 3.
And Boston College has always talked about being able to lean on people, wear them down by running the football, and kind of the idea of repeated blows in the run game. And you see their balance, offensively between first and second half, obviously much more productive, and leaning on the opponent is part of that.
Garwold really a workhorse. Thomas with a tackle. He'll gain 3 yards. 5:15 to go here at Boston College. 3rd down and 2 coming up.
And when BC is in these situations, and again, I'll go back to it. We saw how productive it was down near the goal line. These are zone read opportunities.
Garwold took the initial hit. Now he's going to go down. And nothing doing there, says FSU. And DJ Lundy also has been a very big presence defensively for the Noles today. That brings up 4th down, and they're going to bring on the punting unit. Much to the dismay of the crowd here.
Well, I don't know why the crowd is booing when their team has fought back in the football game. Obviously, fans like going forward in some of these situations, but the defense has been responding for Boston College, and so.
Timeout, Boston College. That's their second charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Although I will say the timeout would lead you to believe that maybe Jeff Hafley is maybe agreeing with some of those booing fans.
Giving it consideration. So he's down to 1 more timeout. Florida State has 1 more. With over 4 minutes to go here. 4th down and 2. And we shall see what BC decides to do, down by 3 points.
Punting the football, there is no guarantee that you're going to get it back. Certainly no guarantee that you're going to get it back with timeouts still in hand and enough time to do something. And so, Florida State, who's been in a ton of close games and has had the benefit of playing, some of this situational football where 4-minute offense, if you're protecting a lead, I think Jeff Hafley's maybe saying, look, our best chance to win it may be to go for it.
So he is going to bring his quarterback back out there and hope for some Jurkovec magic at 4th and 2. Garwo, the running back, on the move. He hurdles for a first down. A 4-yard run and jump for the first down for the quarterback.
It's a design quarterback draw, and it's an outstanding decision to bounce it. And we've seen this a couple times now. Just the willingness. Here's the decision. It's supposed to fit inside, but because of the stunt, he bounces it outside. Just an outstanding effort to sell out to pick up the first down.
Garwo, big hole. Outstanding run, stopped by Noles, but that'll gain 9 for Pat Garwo, and BC is on the move.
And here, Dave, is what's big about going for it on 4th down and getting it now, is now you're not in a 2-minute offense situation where it's pass, 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 and letting the defensive ends pin their ears back. Now it's a situation where you can continue to, and in fact, you probably want to, take some time off the clock and run the football.
Garwo again, another hole for him. A first down scamper of 7. Kevin Noles with the stop. Boston College very confident when Garwo has the football.
And we've seen this out of BC. Big, strong, good run blocking offensive line. Now creating some space for Garwo, who's running hard.
About 3 minutes to go. He'll get another carry. And continues to make yards. Stopped by the free safety McClellan there, but he'll gain 2.
Well, and here's the interesting thing. You just mentioned it, Dave. McClellan making the tackle, the free safety for 2 yards. So what does that tell you? The safeties are coming up in run support. So the next thing off of this is hard play action shot down the field.
Garwo again, this time they stack him up. Nothing doing on that play. Thanks to Malcolm Ray, and Jarvis Brownlee came up from the corner and dumps him for a 2-yard loss. So 3rd down approaching.
And basically field goal range is right about the yard to gain for a first down. And so for Boston College here, you know at 3rd and 10, this is 2-down territory.
Light and the kicker is hit one from 49. Jurkovec throws that one and incomplete. Intended for Gill, but short. So more good coverage by the FSU defense. They're on top by 3 with 1:52 to go.
And once again, it's pressure. Keir Thomas right in the face of Phil Jurkovec, not able to follow through, and that's why the ball kind of dies and is behind Gill because he's open. And I think if Jurkovec isn't under pressure from Keir Thomas, that he's going to get there, and now you have to go for it.
4th and 10. Under 2 minutes to play. Jurkovec to throw. Looking downfield, all sorts of time. Now he heaves it. He throws it up for grabs, and it's intercepted by Florida State. Picked off by the Seminoles and by Akeem Dent with 1:42 to play.
And basically, you know, it's been a combination today of great pass rush, but then coverage. You just look what happens. There isn't really anywhere, but Jurkovec is looking this way. There's really nowhere to go with the footballs. He's looking to his left, kind of all covered up. So before he can get back to Zay Flowers, who essentially has a double on him on the bottom of the screen, see Flowers, he's going to hook up. You see Dent who's getting ready to drive on the football, and then as the ball goes up, Dent does a nice job of making a play on it, and Florida State defensively comes up with a big stop.
Another one. The Noles have had several today. At times they've been their own worst enemy with the penalties, but at other times they've made gigantic defensive plays. Travis diving ahead.
Timeout. Ball Boston College. That's their third and final timeout. 30-second timeout.
So the Eagles take their last one with 1:37 to go. Only a couple of times today has Flowers been a big factor. Looked like for a moment he was going to help lead them to a come-from-behind victory today, but right now it's 26-23 FSU.
Yeah, and then there's some frustration out of Flowers, looking like, hey, looking for an opportunity to have another chance to touch the ball. And now for Boston College, your best case scenario is get enough stops here that you get the football back with around 15-20 seconds left. And for Florida State, I don't think there's any reason to throw the football. I'm doing anything I can to find an extra gap in the run game and keep it on the ground.
Jashaun Corbin the back. He'll take the football. Still on his feet and sliding down and in bounds. So the clock continues to run.
And smart play by Corbin, obviously, as that was bottled up inside. And again, if you're Florida State, Jordan Travis, I want to snap this at the last possible second. You almost think Mike Norvell might use his last time out, when the play clock hits 1,
just
to talk about what they want to do.
Right there with the official. And there's your timeout at 50 seconds to go.
Florida State, third and final charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Take a look at our MVP of the game, brought to you by Sports Clips.
Well, you just look at the efficiency passing the football, 20 of 32, and I think it's been really impressive to see him manage this football game the way that he has. His first touchdown pass was outstanding because it was great movement in the pocket, and then he was able to do a lot of this, basically get the ball out to his talented playmakers on the perimeter, and he made a big play down the field. He's been really good, and it was interesting, Dave. I just got the sense this week when we had a chance to talk to BC, and they were so excited about Phil Jurkovec, and rightfully so. And when we talked to Florida State, they're so excited to talk about Jordan Travis and kind of what he means to their football team. And
we were talking with Kenny Dillingham, the offensive coordinator, and he said he has such a great relationship with the head coach, with Mike Norvell. The two of them are on the same wavelength, and one of the things so impressive about Travis is he's very cool and very confident. He'll take a hit here at the 15-yard line as the clock continues to run. 26-23, Florida State on the verge of knocking off Boston College and dropping the Eagles 6-5, and FSU still with an opportunity to go to a bowl and get 6 wins.
Yeah, and here's the deal with that play, because they took so much time off the clock, there's a 3-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. And so now, much like we saw, at the end of the half, you now get a 4th down play with less than 5 seconds left. You see Mike Norvell talking about, hey, take the delay of game. Now there's 2 seconds left, just like we saw.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down. Please put 3 seconds on the game clock, 3 seconds.
So 3 seconds back on.
And basically, just like we saw at the end of the first half, where you don't want to punt, risk something bad happening. You just take the snap and throw it as far as you can, high and out of bounds, and the clock will run to zeros. And I will say this, that's a very good job by Mike Norvell in that situation. Think of what he did. Let the play clock run down on 3rd down, took his last timeout, ate some clock, and then here you go, throw it out of bounds to ice the game.
And that does it. Done really perfectly by Florida State. And they win the game 26-23. This is a team that was 0-4, came very close to being 0-5.
And Mike Norvell talked about never being 0-4 before in his career. The way his team has fought through that has been impressive. And the other thing that'll be big for them, Dave, is you get the 6 wins and become bowl eligible, is he is trying to change the culture at Florida State and build them back.
Third quarter here, and this is one of the plays that may have defined the game. Christian Turner coughs it up. Wake Forest just couldn't seem to find a rhythm and uncharacteristically unable to take care of the football.
Yeah, it's just something that we've seen from them all game long here with not being able to tackle, not being able to protect the football. Kobe Pace, Will Shipley, career days. And we all knew that was going to be the case. This Wake Forest defense, the defense was inconsistent in its own right, but the rush defense has been awful. And you see a little California connection here, just dropping a dime to Bo Collins.
Ball right there.
One-handed catch. Yeah, it's beautiful.
The one-arm catch, and then he takes it into the end zone. Clemson offensively got their groove back, Coach.
They got it back, but what happened to this game was just a physical domination just up front on both sides of the ball. That's why Clemson won the game. Sam Hartman couldn't do a thing because the defense smothered him, and it all happened. It all started up front just like we thought it would.
We talked about the mesh and the ability for that interior defense of Clemson to apply pressure. Their pass rush has truly come alive as of late, and to seal this one, another touchdown for Pace. And this was quite simply Clemson's day. Clemson goes on, actually it's still a minute 43 left, unfortunately for Wake Forest. Clemson leading 48-27 at that point. So amidst all the chaos, EJ, there in Clemson this season, up and down, and yet still they have a chance and a path to get to the ACC championship game. A lot needs to happen, but quite a statement today.
Yeah, a huge statement. And I mean, they keep their win streak going on at home with 34 games now in a row. And that's pretty amazing. And we said that before the game. It's going to be hard to go to their house and beat them. I'm actually surprised that Wake didn't do more. You know, they're a 9-1 team at the time, top 10 even ranked. And now we talk about the underdog situation. This is why they were considered underdog.
Did that game beat Wake Forest twice?
That's what I'm wondering,
Coach. That's what we'll find out.
Because you talked about the high of the Wolfpack win, and now they're in this position now.
Right. They got to win next week against Boston College. Yeah. And that team is probably physically beat up a little bit. That quarterback, Sam Hartman, got beat up today. You know, how will they come back? Will they have enough juice to play a really improved Boston College football team with Jurkovec?
I think, Coach, that's going to be something to really pay attention to. Now, 2 weeks in a row. I mean, we remember Sam came on our set and he's bleeding and scratched up and all of that. And now, you know, getting hit 6-7 times today and being hit, I mean, sacked. He was hit a ton more than that. But it's going to be very interesting to see what does that do to Wake Forest moving forward. And now Clemson sneaking right in here and having a chance to play.
And I guess they still need
NC State to lose either today or later today or next week.
Right, so it's realistic.
Yeah.
And that game's officially gone final. Wake Forest loses to Clemson 48-27 as time has run out on that one. And yes, look, for this Wake Forest team, they go to BC. And yes, BC couldn't get it done at Florida State today, but it was close. It's Phil Jurkovec. It puts a lot of pressure on your group now to say, hey, we still control our own destiny, but, Coach, you better go out there and
BC is not going to run into the defensive line they ran into today with Florida State. Wake Forest doesn't have that type of personnel on defense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. As for the slate for the remainder of the day, some ACC teams still getting ready to take the field and get into some action. 4 p.m., we've got Syracuse and NC State, 20th ranked NC State team. And then the Hokies, interim coach and Coach Price stepping in there. And the Hurricanes playing for Coach Diaz. There's been a lot of conversation around that program. Those two are afternoon and evening offering on the network.
You want a great team? You gotta build it, piece by piece. Start with a few natural-born leaders, old vets who've seen it all. And a few youngsters just getting started. Those with chips on their shoulders and ice in their veins. You find a cast of characters like that, you've got yourself one hell of a team.
We're excited to do business with you, but before we sign, I gotta ask.
Sure, anything.
We searched you online, and maybe you can explain this?
Can't believe that garbage is still coming in. That is so false.
Frustrated with your online search results? Call Reputation Defender today to join tens of thousands who've improved their online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 1-877-866-8555.
Laser X, the #1 home laser tag game
game on the planet. Join Team Red, Blue, or whatever color you choose. The Revolution Blaster has quick slide reload and 300-foot range. With the all-new Micro Blaster's built-in receiver, you can play blaster to blaster. The ultra-long-range blaster has the longest range of any Laser X ever, over 500 feet. The Equalizer lets you blast multiple opponents at once. You can get the Micro Blaster double set for $29.99, and shipping is free. Batteries not included. Extra blasters sold separately, must be 18 or older to order.
Got crypto brain? You could satisfy it by getting crypto the same way everyone else does. Or with a tax advantage at Alto Crypto IRA. With as little as $10, you can now put retirement dollars in crypto. Over 100 coins through Coinbase Exchange, including Bitcoin, all with the full tax advantages of an IRA. Everyone's got their eye on crypto. Get yours with the Alto Advantage. Sign up free at altocryptoira.com.
Bad look.
Look at Garrett Schrader on the field, 16 minutes away from kickoff. Syracuse, NC State will take you right up to kick in that one. But I want to focus in on this Virginia Pitt game. Obviously, a lot riding on the line with this one. And the path to the Coastal, and able to win the division. And Pitt, it's simple. If they win versus Virginia, they're in. And if they lose, then they need other scenarios. Virginia can flip this one. Virginia steals the win. Then Virginia has to then control their own destiny by then having to turn around and beat Virginia Tech. So it's really about Pitt and Virginia. It's the most important game on the schedule to this date in the conference because the power and in terms of control of destiny can change wildly. Biggest storyline, Eric, for you in this one?
Really, the fact that Brennan is playing and just how healthy is he going to be? How effective is he going to be after he takes a couple of shots? Is he still going to be okay? So it's going to be very interesting to follow that. I think that's the biggest part of this game.
Yeah, I would say, how does, Pitt come out and show up? Kenny's been playing great all year. Receivers been making up huge plays for him. And I think that's a big key for him. Just keep doing what you've been doing all season long. It's pretty simple.
Getting back to Brennan, he obviously has been throwing for a massive amount of yards, and they've been throwing the ball quite a few times. But he still has a running game as part of his game. And usually every time you run, at the end of the run, what happens? You get hit.
Blasted.
Or at least you
get hit.
Fall on the ground.
You may get out of bounds, you may slide, you may do whatever, but his style has not been to do that. His style has been to finish runs. So he's probably to change his style as a runner, and hopefully he'll have time to deal the ball and make some of the passes he's been making throughout the year.
Look, EJ, ironic to mention this right now because Phil Jurkovec just lost today, but he gave that team a jolt once he came back from injury, so you're kind of getting that from Brennan as well.
I would assume. Now, I don't know how healthy Brennan is. So look, let's be honest. If you break a rib, that's a serious injury. So, again, like Emac said, if he does take a couple shots early in the game, which we know Pitt is going to bring pressure, we know guys are going to be in that backfield at some point in this football game, how long can he withstand it? So UVA needs him to stay up.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a live look into this UVA Pitt game. We go live to Heinz Field, and a lot on the line in this one.
I saw Pitt got away with a little possible hole by Phil Campbell, but look, it all goes for nothing. Again, another third down opportunity for Brennan Armstrong.
3rd and 7 now after the penalty.
Will Pitt bring the pressure early on? We haven't seen much pressure on Armstrong. Will they bring it here?
4-man pressure. Armstrong's pass is caught, and down inside the 10-yard line is Keaton Thompson. And it's 1st and goal, Virginia.
How did he do that? How did Armstrong get it through that? Look at the window that Armstrong throws this football through. There's 4 Pitt Panthers there. He gets it right through the window, and no one can get a hand on it. Keaton Thompson, the big play player. We talked about it. Just a football player with a nice catch, but Armstrong in a tight window.
Without Brennan last week against Notre Dame, they only had 1 play.